Well, it came down to the ninth inning, but we were able to make it happen for Black History Month. Evan, the king of Passaconda, is here. Let's make some noise for him.
I had one more week.
Yes, but that wouldn't publish until the following week. This is going to go up next week. Yeah, and then you'd be a week late.
Imagine that.
I couldn't imagine such an impossible to imagine idea. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
I also have Farrell with me.
Ayo.
And Chris Pinkerton.
If you're nasty.
And Joey might come by, might not. He's unsure. He's working a double, so it depends on how exhausted, probably hungry, and then willing to be around people he is at that point in his life.
And don't forget to let everyone know that this is a very special edition.
It is, because it's Black History Month.
That's right.
And
Nerd Rage After Dark.
That's right. Hey,
After Dark.
During Dark. King of Wakanda. King of Wakanda, have you been to your kingdom lately?
I have.
Really? So you've been to Ollie's?
Yeah. Yes.
Because that's where all the Wakanda is.
All the figures go to die.
They're $4.99 now. They marked them down to $4.99 for Marvel Legends and Black.
Is that Ollie's over in Jessup still open?
Mm-hmm. Man, you know I don't get up in there like that.
I
need to walk in there one day.
Yeah, roll up. So look, I don't really have an opener outside of Black History Month unless there's anything specific you want to get into regarding 2025 Black History Month.
Dude, it's so much.
I'll tell you what was your take on the Kendrick performance?
I loved it.
I did too. It's actually in my top 5.
Did all your coworkers enjoy it as well?
top 5 what?
I haven't heard anybody
Super Bowl performances. Okay. It's not number 1.
No.
It's not number 1, but it was a great performance.
So what is number 1? Because that's an easy one.
Prince.
But it's unfair. It's unfair because God participated in that performance.
Nobody's going to beat Prince.
Nobody's going to beat Purple Rain while it's raining at the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's bigger than us at that point.
While drinking perp.
What if? Perp. So he might have been taking perp pills.
Perp.
Because that's what, eventually got them all jammed up, jumping off of fucking 8-foot speakers and 6-foot heels or 6-inch heels.
6-foot heels.
That's wild.
If I could do it, it'd be Prince.
And 6 feet may not seem like that, but the man was 4 feet tall, so that's a long way to fall.
Did a number on his back over time. I liked it too. I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Oh, I did. No, come on.
Yeah,
it was. It exceeded my expectations, honestly, because there's that feeling that it could have been dry or it didn't reach the audience like it was supposed to. But I feel like he brought a lot of energy to it, creativity, symbolism, and it was good.
I mean, everybody was talking about it.
It was.
Yeah, exactly.
Good, bad, or otherwise.
Yeah,
everybody.
I think everybody was happy that the Chiefs lost.
Yes,
and then wanted to discuss the performance, good, bad, or indifferent. I actually put up a Facebook post about it because when I went to my feed, I just saw the amount of people shitting on it, and I was like, I'm just going to say how I feel about it without debating anyone else. So I just said that's in my top 5, and it is. I said that kind of flippantly because I wasn't 100% sure, but then I went back and did some research, and I was like, oh yeah, I got it better than this, not as good as that, etc. Dude, Michael, another one that gets slept on.
New Kids on the Block.
Mike, no.
Damn,
but their show is kind of the one that ended up making it a modern thing.
Yeah, we talked about that before, right?
Yeah, because it used to be like, we're bringing in the marching band from St. Louis and the jazz band from New York.
I actually read something about that this week. The reason they decided to really bring it is In Living Color.
Oh, it's been brought in.
Hang on. All of it. 2 duffel bags. In Living Color did a halftime show. I remember this back whenever that 89 or 90 or something.
You had to switch channel.
Well, it was on a different channel, and they drew 20 million people to that. And they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, we can't let this happen again.
Don't never leave a dollar on the table."
And that's pretty much when you start. I think Michael Jackson was the first
big because New Kids was the first one, like the first It was the first major pop act,
like modern day.
Yes, because they had I want to say they had
and young
I don't remember
them being on the scene too, right?
Yes, because it was 90.
Because the other pop acts were 15, 18 years into a career, well-known, established.
Correct, legacy acts.
And I mean, pop music has changed so much since then. You think about Poison would not have been considered a pop band back then. You listen to their music now, you're like,
pop rock.
It's pop rock.
Yeah. So then the other thing is Michael's performance. He comes out on stage. He raises up, I believe, through the ceiling. I watched it recently, but now I'm forgetting some of the details. and he stands there motionless in complete silence. And I timed it. It's like for over 2 minutes.
So I watched something on that too, and like his demand for this is you don't start till I take my glasses off.
Take his glasses, because that's when it starts.
And they're like, the production guys were like, I don't know that we can hit his cue, and I don't know if he stands up there for a minute. These commercials are $8 million for 30 seconds. You really think you're going to say?
I love that dude. Man.
Sorry, Doritos, you're not.
He earned that shit.
You just sit there and you think about it. You think about what I'm about to do. You be fucking grateful. Okay? You know, his voice wasn't like that. But he's like, look, you be grateful. You know, which is even more bugged out. But yeah, so like anyway, but like Michaels is up there. Like I like the Katy Perry one. I like the Rihanna one. I like the Shakira Jennifer Lopez one, but it's for different reasons.
It's so much.
Yeah, it's my favorite for a different set of reasons. It's actually my number one in a different bracket.
But can you just imagine? And I know I'm not mad at all about the Kendrick performance, but just based on the location of the Super Bowl, if we had like a Cash Money No Limit mashup, man.
Oh, that would have been so. Just them squashing the beef would have been phenomenal,
right?
But ain't like Cash Money's all talking anyway, so
right. And you got to like wheel Lil Wayne out.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people were advocating for Lil Wayne, but I'm like, which version are you gonna get?
Yeah.
You gonna be, is he gonna be able to put
he
on? He
sounded pretty good on Saturday Night Live.
Did he?
Yeah.
Would he sound good for 15 minutes straight?
Yeah, that's I don't know.
No, he's back in track with though.
And he is famous for not rehearsing either.
Yeah.
So,
because if it was that Carter era Lil Wayne, that's a different Lil Wayne.
How about that? Sorry for the Wait mixtape era where he was just destroying everybody's beats. It's good shit.
Yeah,
too.
that's all. I love all that in the same spot because like that was around the time when the Carter albums were coming out, like in concert with those mixtapes.
Did you see his? Yeah, it was like he put out like this teaser.
Yeah.
Sorry for the wait, and then dropped the album. Did you see his commercial? His Super Bowl commercial?
I did not.
It was for a lotion, and it was about not. I don't remember the exact context of it, but it kind of played on the fact that he didn't get picked for the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting choice for a lotion commercial for Lil Wayne. I mean, blunt wraps, sure, but they're not going to show that on. Well, I don't know.
I think they would now.
If Raw gets a Super Bowl ad,
I do think that some of the, and I said this on last week's show, but I do, and I love Kendrick's performance, and I think I got the message pretty clear, and even that fucking statement went out from Punch and Top Dog. About his performance, and I was like, oh, I think I did get this. But where I feel like with Kendrick, anything he does, not just this, records, anything he does, people overreach as to what he's doing, you know? So like,
as a Kendrick fan, I can agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I get tired of the think pieces.
Some of it is like it'd be like, and you see it, he had yellow diamonds in his ear in silver
And Aubrey is
casings.
yellow.
Silver casings. Yellow canary diamonds, silver casings, bird in a cage. Maya Angelou, talk to him.
Bars. Did you do like slam poetry?
Bars.
And if you don't get it, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, all right, come on, back.
You know what? I mentioned last week I had a conversation with my dad about this, and he picked his artist, and it was Barbra Streisand and Lionel Richie were the two hits from there.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up talking to my mom about something that I'll get into in my Nerd Week, but it kind of ended up talking to her about it a bit, and she was asking me questions. So I was like, so why is he so mad at Drake? She had no context. So I kind of explained, like, I think there was 15 songs between them and other people who dipped a toe in and said, well, hold on. Who's forgetting about J. Cole in this mess? Where's J. Cole?
He dodged a ton of bullets.
Oh, he did.
Good for him. He's the MVP of 2024.
But
he is.
I don't ever want to hear that.
Big three.
I don't ever want to hear I'm the best shit
I get
again.
it.
I don't ever want to hear that again.
Man, you talk about somebody who avoided.
He stayed out of the mix
completely.
Yeah.
That was
He
amazing.
He just put out a song called Number 3 and have Allen Iverson and the ghost of Dale Earnhardt in
He
the
was like,
video.
I don't even need my ball. I'm just going to go home. You guys keep
the ball. I'm good.
And my man has been, I have not seen, heard, or he's been like underground.
He had
That motherfucker
some
been in Dreamville for real.
He had no. He just put out a freestyle recently where he talks about skipping it all, and he still tries to play both sides of the fence. He's like, hate to see my friends tear each other, you know, like. But it's like, sorry, dude, like it's a competitive sport. you know, and you got out the way, and we can have a lot of conversations about you now. Greatest catalog, greatest artist of the 2010s.
Very talented.
We can
Still
have a
very
lot of those
Yeah.
conversations, but what we can't have a conversation about is greatest of all time because you're not battle tested.
Absolutely.
I saw a pretty funny thing on TikTok or something the other day. It was this kid walks up to his mom. Hey, Mom, do you know who J. Cole is? Oh, yeah. I don't remember what his real name is, but Jermaine just say, yeah, I remember Jermaine. We went to high school together. Oh, really? Yeah. We got in trouble for passing notes. Did he ever come up? Yeah, he came over one time when your grandparents were out of town. It was just he and I. So it's the Wet Dreams song. He's like, Mama, no.
You said like it's a competitive sport, but I don't think everybody in that game realized that like it's for blood and you can be killed.
Yeah, well, it's been
Your
a
career
long.
can get like if Drake can fall that far.
It's been a long time since we've had one of these, and
Think about Ja Rule.
It is. Well, so yeah, I mean,
yeah.
But that's the last one, and even that one was like it wasn't like this one, like. This is probably
This is the proper murder / burial
it's
/ we're gonna
probably
dig
the
him up.
biggest rap battle of all time, just because everybody, like not everybody, obviously, but
yeah, I don't
it's
think
such-
my
it's-
parents know about Jay-Z and Nas.
No, but it's such. Well, that's it, right? They're not
Right.
asking that question.
Yeah, because it was never put on that
so,
stage for them to see it.
I would put Biggie and Pac in that just because they both died. Like that's like I
mean, Puffy killed them both.
I don't know.
That's sincerely my.
Allegedly.
I disagree.
But I heard Puffy had him killed because he's a
Co-sign
pussy.
that
who
one.
done it.
So I don't think he had Biggie killed, and I
do.
Oh no, definitely not. This the guy. They know who killed Biggie. It's this guy Pookie or some shit.
Oh,
He's like a West Coast guy. It's all shit. It's Suge, the Nation of Islam, and the LAPD, and this guy Pookie. I want to say his name was.
And
And then
was it the Nation of Domination?
it was. It was D'Lo Brown
and then
and the Godfather before he was a Godfather.
and then the Pac one. I mean, is obvious. Orlando Brown,
Orlando Brown?
Orlando Jones.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, that's the one that, like,
wait.
Orlando Anderson.
Orlando
It's
Blue.
Orlando somebody.
Tony Orlando.
And that one was over.
fight steal.
That was
jewelry
over
in the
so,
casino.
Yes. So
Yeah.
and then when they shot and killed that dude over, so like it's like the dude Keefy D's cousin got beat up by Pac at the
What
casino.
kind? What pot did open the lid to the boy?
But anyway, like Pac and them, they stomped him. There's video footage of it from like
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with all
So
this.
so then they went and got these gang members and they went and fucking killed Pac. And then Keefy D, who had a relationship with Puffy, who killed him over this fucking nephew he was like, hey, you had a hit out on Puff. I did it. Pay up. And Puff's like, well, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
This had nothing to do with me. Your nephew got beat up. And then he was like, hey, details.
It's done.
Schmeetails.
What's done is done.
It's done. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
I mean, that's a fair argument, though.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's best of both worlds.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that debated in contract law.
Anyway, Evan, catch us up. It's been some time.
Yup,
You
man.
started off strong last year, but then you fell off fourth quarter.
Did I?
Yeah.
I got to get back into it, man.
Yeah.
It's been a
What's
fourth
been
quarter
going-
was rough.
Yeah. What's been going on?
Nothing, man. Going through life, man. I got the highs and lows. Got the promotion at work. Which
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Save that horn. Then shortly thereafter, started going through a divorce.
Ooh.
Come on, you got it.
You want that one?
I'm all for it right now.
Okay. All right.
Living that life.
Yes, it's great.
Wow.
Hold up. I went through a rough time with it. However, it's for the best. Like I'm at the point now where I'm like, I just want this shit to be over because I see freedom on the other side, and it's amazing.
The last time I had spoken to you, you had made it seem as though it was very amicable. Is it still
that shit
amicable?
kinda ended, but
Yeah, that's the way it goes,
it's
isn't
weird.
it?
It's weird. Like, well, you put third parties into it, like
Like lawyers and stuff.
not even lawyers. Like not. I wish it was fair. Yeah, I wish.
Like
it's-
fans toys and extreme
exactly.
spots.
Wow.
Chinese stuff.
Family,
or like
make toys.
girlfriends.
girlfriends.
Yeah, you should
friends,
take everything.
and
Like he's a
That's
dick.
exactly what happened. So it started off very amicably, and then other people, I'm assuming, get involved and change the perspective, and it turns into the stereotypical ugly divorce.
Oh,
right?
I hate to hear
sucks.
that.
And then it's one of those things where you're like, "Oh, fuck, I'm gonna just try to be a good person, be nice, and all that stuff. And when you're talking to a brick wall, you're talking to a brick wall, and it's hard to compromise with someone who can't take accountability or see fault in anything they're doing.
Well, women, right?
The views expressed by Value Skullface do not reflect the reviews of the rest of the participants of Nerd Rage Radio.
That's the A word. That's sometimes, man.
It's funny because I'm big on my own accountability, not being perfect, being flawed, all that good stuff, right? And I take accountability for what part I played in the dissolution of my marriage. However, wasn't doing that shit by myself.
2 to tango.
It takes 2, and sometimes 3 if you include the boyfriend she met in July. So, I mean, yo.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where
Could you kick his ass?
definitely. I got to show you a picture. It's funny. It's hilarious.
But we would never resort to such barbaric
We would
tactics,
never.
of
No,
course.
I'm past that.
Yeah, but you know the first time you meet somebody.
Yeah, it's always on your mind, but at the same time, you got to go through. What goes through your mind is everything I have to lose. That's literally what goes through
Yeah, I
your
mean,
mind.
having a mortgage takes away your badass real quick.
Exactly. So mortgage, kids, job, all that shit. So what I say is that I'm in a great place now, and
We're good.
like it's honestly, it was probably the best decision that's happened, and honestly, maybe a couple years too late.
Yeah, I hate to hear that, man, because she was cool as shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know things changed, and you know what
bring that back.
What did Nas say? Love changes and thugs changes,
Yeah,
and best friends become strangers.
But I tell you what, somebody told me this early on. They said, you're about to meet a version of this person that you've never met. And I said, no, I know her really well. We've known each other 16 years, whatever. And I'd be damned if it wouldn't maybe a month later, behavior and everything start changing. But it's not even changing. That's who this person is and always has been.
Or at least a side of them.
A side of them.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about that is you don't see it, or you don't want to see it, because a lot of it's always been there. And talking about my relationship, marriage over the last, just 10 to 15 years, you talk to a third party, unbiased third party, and they're like, doesn't sound really great. You know, if you're like, yeah, I did this, I did that, I did that. They're like, so you did all the cooking or the cleaning and paid all the bills and did the, and what did they do? Well, they supported me, you know, and they
Missed the spot.
yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where
It's important.
you don't realize what a good relationship is, because, and truth be told, I got into my relationship with my soon-to-be ex-wife when I was really young. And I mean like 21, 22. So I hadn't had that knowledge of what a real relationship was. So basically my whole adult life, I was with her and having to relearn who I am or learn who I am and whatnot.
Yeah, because she defines you in a way.
Exactly. So it's great to just kind of step out of that shadow and that, box of what I think, who I think I am and what I think a relationship is, and find out what it really means to me. And so I say all that to tie back in my current relationship, it's completely different. It's a 180. And now I'm happy. Like I'm truly, and that's the thing. You can be in a marriage and be, content, right? That doesn't mean you're happy or fulfilled. Those are different concepts.
Agreed.
And I had to learn that, because I was content for years, but I was never happy or fulfilled. And so,
What do you think was missing happiness wise?
I just think we weren't compatible. So I think it was the partner aspect of it, and just how our personalities didn't click, but you kind of force it. And it took all this stuff to really see that, but I think we just did not click as individuals. And we subsequently didn't click as a couple. We made it work for years, but that doesn't mean it's successful. It just means, you got them people who are just grinding that shit out. Old people who are like, hey, just wait till the kids turn 18 and move out. And then, fuck that. Life is too short,
and you live a lot longer now.
Yes, exactly. And hopefully live with my pension a lot longer. We'll see.
So I've never
That lawyer on the phone.
I've never been married, but
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks.
Can he get a big up there?
But so like I've had a couple of relationships end for like one thing happens and it's almost like the curtains are opened, and then all of a sudden you can't not see like this thing that was always in front of you.
Right.
Herpes.
No, you can normally see that a couple times.
Well, I didn't know.
Well, it
you
depends.
weren't-
Well, a couple times a year, you get a flare up. There it is.
Not during suppression season.
Yeah. No, but like something happens big and it exposes something about their personality that you can't unsee,
Right.
even though it's right in front of you the whole time. And that's always been interesting to me, that when I look back on some of those relationships, and then I think, how did I fucking miss that? For like 2 years, how did I miss that? And then something happens that makes it front and center, and you're like, I can't even stand this person anymore.
And you look back on previous experiences with them, you're like, it was right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Without prying publicly, like, is it all getting? Because I imagine, like, divorce is like two things that are the most complicated, right? Like finances,
Money and kids.
Yeah, are both sides complicated?
It's not terribly complicated.
Okay.
Custody stuff is actually pretty amicable.
Okay, that's
pretty
cool.
easy.
Arguably the most important.
It is, arguably.
Not Zach, but
Zoe is great.
wow.
If it was King Solomon and we got to split these motherfuckers up, we know what's happening.
Great reference.
So the custody thing is easy. I mean, we have disagreements on small stuff, but we're gonna work that out. That's no problem. The financial stuff, it's funny because we start off with her saying, I don't want any of your money, I don't want nothing, I don't want your pension, I don't want nothing. Like I said, you get the third parties involved, and all of a sudden the counterclaim is, I want everything. And it was the common misconception is motherfuckers think they deserve half, but the mediator told her, ma'am, you aren't automatically entitled to half of his money. And it was funny when we did our first mediation session and finding out what her numbers were. They call it, what's your nut? Pause.
Yeah.
And this woman says, well, what do you want from him? And she's like, well, I'm thinking $2,200 a month in alimony and $1,300 a month in child support. And the mediator looked at her like, bitch, you crazy. She said, okay, bet. And I love the way she played this because it was great. She's like, Mr. Tyler, what are your monthly expenses? What's your income? What's your monthly expenses? I had it all ready for her. And so she said, understood. And she said, Mrs. Tyler, what he has left over is nowhere near what you want. Even if we round up and add a couple hundred, it ain't what you want. So what can he get rid of to get you close to your goal? And she said the pets, she said the house cleaning, and she damn near said the kids. And she's like, just give me the money. But it's funny how unrealistic some people's, like, I was like, I don't know if you thought you were married to like a millionaire or what, but that ain't me. I was like, just because I make this shit look easy and make it work don't mean that, so all that to say, she ain't getting $3,500 a month from me.
Yeah,
it ain't happening. But it's funny. It's a good experience in the sense that I learned a lot out of it, and it's cool. The last few months have been up and down, but it's been way more ups and downs.
Are you keeping the house?
That's the goal.
Okay.
I'm still I've been in the house. She left, so
right. At the very least, you should take the greenhouse.
But I took that down actually.
Did you really?
I did.
That saddens me.
So a lot of different changes, right? I got chickens now, and
are you serious?
Well, I have one now. It was the weirdest.
Trump got you shook
for a few different reasons. Look, I go to too many Spanish-speaking countries. They gonna send my ass back.
Yeah, we're back, baby.
Yeah. So
hell yeah.
So she moved out of the house. I didn't make her. I offered for her to stay and everything. She moved out for the sake of records abandonment. So what it is she wanted to. She was like, "Hey, let's just sell the house." And I was like, "Well, no, because it's the kid's home. What I asked for was what do you call it? When you stay in the house, occupation and possession for 3 years until the kids, get out of middle school, whatever. Use and possession. She said, no, I want to sell the house now. I said, well, you're a realtor in this market at the rates. I was like, we both kind of lose in this one. I don't care if, let's say we make $200,000 on the house. You got to cut off $20,000 for fees and shit. So we each get,
60
to 80, which ain't a lot of money for anything as far as down payments or whatever.
Not today.
Not at all. And interest rates are at like 7.25 or something like that. I'm currently paying like 3.25.
Right.
There's no way in hell.
Right.
So she's open to being bought out. selfishly, initially, I said, "Oh, fuck no." But then you gotta look at the long term. You gotta look at the big picture in these things. Take your emotions out of it. So the goal is for me to buy her out for an undisclosed amount.
Yeah.
And just keep the house. I put a lot of work in that house. The kids know it is home, and I'm not gonna find anything comparable. You've been in my house, it's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice house.
And the stress that the kids having to move twice essentially, one with me and one with her, and then me having to find a new place. And typically, you're not going to find a house, so you have to have an apartment for a short period of time, a 3-bedroom
Divorced
apartment.
dad apartment. Yeah.
Exactly.
Put on the nickel back and get the bush lights out. Man. Sit on the porch in your sweatpants after work. That's your life now.
That's it.
God, that sounds
Talking
great.
to the other divorced dads.
It's better to have a divorced dad house than an apartment. I promise you that. At least I can go on the back porch or something like that.
I thought that maybe you might give up the house, being as though the basement might hold these bad memories of getting smoked on a car game for you.
But you know what? The funny thing is, the basement will hold good memories because my new partner is better at space.
Oh, there it is.
I wanted to ask: are any friends caught up in the divorce?
What do you mean?
Like when Adam and I divorced, Joey was caught up in the
I know what
divorce.
you mean. Okay. There might be a couple.
Yeah.
There might be a couple, honestly, and they're doing good enough as far as not taking sides or whatever. And
So are these people your friends or her friends?
so mostly mine, I think. People I introduced to. When everything started going down, I drew a hard line as far as like social media. Delete everybody on her side. I had to delete from social media because I don't need no bullshit. So they're mostly my friends. Anybody I still talk to now is somebody I knew before her or I knew them first.
Independently from her. Yeah. Oh man, that's a lot.
Dude, it's a lot, but it's always something, man. If it ain't this, it's gonna be something else. But they say if it ain't one thing, it's a motherfucking other. So, if it wasn't this, it'd be something else.
Yeah.
But on the brighter side again, I had a cancer screening last month. Everything came back normal.
No, love that.
So,
Love that. I did one 2 years ago.
You didn't do the last one?
No, because I just did one 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, because cancer can't pop up in 2 years.
Well, yeah, to be fair, it was a year ago.
Okay.
It was the one that was done
In the office in the
through our organ.
Yeah.
Not through there.
yeah. It's the same group, isn't it?
Is it? Are they Russian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very Russian.
Yeah.
Should they take their time with it?
Well, here they were invading my sovereign body. So they
His name was Yuri. That's how Russian he is. That's my guy.
they called me, and I was like taking my kid to something, and they called me, and like they said they would only call you if there was a problem,
right?
And I was like, oh Jesus! I like pulled over. I couldn't handle it. I like pulled over, and I'm driving my kid to like a thing for her like graduation or something, like
for the last time.
Her and her exactly. Like, Jesus, exactly. Like her and her friends are like having this big thing, like, and I'm like, this is how it happens. And she's gonna be like, I remember the day it happened. He was such a good dad. He was even taking me to my friend's thing when I got the bad news. So I pulled over. I'm like, hello. And they're like, yes, is this Bobby? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we're such and such, or we go to such and such. And
Thank you. I was hoping you would do it.
And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, you took a test recently. This is true statement. You took. I was like, if you don't give me the fucking information, And then
Have you ever been to Chernobyl?
Because your scans look like it.
You have eyeball in your pubic area.
No, they were like, your heart could be better. And I was like, all right. They're like, no, not a problem, but could be better. And I was like, all right. And they're like, liver, little fatty. And I was like, oh, that's all bought and paid for, love. What else you got? And like, that's it. Cancer, good. And I was like, oh, all right. Send it to me in an email. I'll talk to you later.
Wow.
It's a scary phone call.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask a question here about in your field, is people losing their pensions in divorces a pretty common occurrence, or is that something that happens?
Depends on how good their lawyer is.
Well, broadly speaking, the people y'all know, do people get their ass taken to the cleaners?
Uncommon.
It's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
Great answer.
A friend of mine who just went through it, I think he lost 42%. She got 42%.
Wow.
Yeah.
He didn't have a good lawyer.
He must not have. And his thing was, he's like, I waited too long. He was like, I spent fucking 2.5 to 4 years investigating and hiring a private eye and shit to prove what I already knew.
Getting bigger.
Yeah, and that's just 4 more years that you're married to that individual. And so once you cross that 20-year mark, a lot of shit changes.
Yeah.
So that's what happened, and thankfully, far from it. So the funny thing that I talked to a lawyer today, it's funny. And we talked about the pension shit, and I said, "Well, break it down for me. What am I looking like?" He was like, "Well, they're technically entitled to a portion, whatever." He was like, "However, how long were you married?" I was like, 13 years. He was like, "Okay, how long have you been with
Your company?
Company?" And I said, "Well, 19 now." He's like, "Look, let's say you stayed for 30 years. You know," he was like, "Do 13. What was he? 13 over 30, and then multiply it by 50%." And that's just using that.
Yeah, because they're only entitled to the portion that they spent with
Yep,
you.
exactly. And the longer you work, the less they get. So sometimes it's not even worth them going, and especially if, like in my case, she's older, so she's a good chance she won't even be able to enjoy it. So that'd be like a nursing home care. I mean,
That's getting more expensive too, though.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Gonna chew right through that.
That final care ain't no joke.
That Medicaid out of there. But
That'll be gone by then. Don't worry.
So
I know.
she may be willing to take the payout now as opposed to
if she's smart.
Yeah.
The proposal that I have drafted up is generous enough. It's not overly generous, but it's common sense, and it's just one of those things. Like, you went from not getting anything to getting this.
Yes.
Right.
Take it, run, start your life. I don't care, but get out of my face and out of my house.
I'm sorry that happened, but I'm glad that you've seen some silver linings in it. And that you're happy in your new relationship.
I'm very happy, and
Yeah.
I told you a while ago, and you said Dr. Umar would approve, and I love that.
It's a little testing of the water. See where.
Yeah, he was trying to get me. Not this month, buddy.
Oh, I wish you'd have popped up here with Amy. I'd have had your ass.
Dude, I wish. You talk about a long running joke. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, I'd have been like, man, you better check all that shit. Well, let's see what Amy has to say about this. Like, Amy, bring some raisins down here.
Right. The potato salad is starving for him.
It's good to have you out. It's been too long.
It's great to be here.
It's good to see you.
Yes.
Now, you guys, Farrell, you would have got your coffee first. Chris, how was your nerd week?
It was interesting. I watched some stuff and I didn't do much. So my family went to KatsuCon in DC.
Oh, okay.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I was home by myself.
What's KatsuCon?
Jerking off.
It's an anime convention, no?
Yeah, there's 2 bits. Otakon, I think, is in August,
I know Otakon.
and this one it's at the Gaylord in that was last week in February.
Okay.
Which cards on the table for me, if I was going to have on some ridiculously heavy cosplay, I would not want to be wearing it in DC in August. So the Gaylord, they had it at the Gaylord and they stayed at the Gaylord. So
Okay,
Is that the one
perfect.
at National Harbor?
sure,
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually never been to that one, but they had a good time. There was tragically in Artist Alley, a gray water line broke and it was just pouring.
Was
water.
that legit? Because I saw
Yeah.
a video.
Yeah.
Okay.
pouring on people's shit.
Shit, product.
Was it really
I think
sewage water?
It was. They called it kitchen gray water, but everybody said it smelled like sewage.
Okay.
Oh.
And maybe a bathroom in the kitchen. But they said my bunch didn't see it. I saw it on somebody posted on the internet. Tragic though. Like, could you imagine?
No. No, I
I don't
cannot.
know if they did anything for the people, but I think the person that fell in was prints. They were selling prints of art. Paper that's
Bleeding and ruined. And,
yeah, and I got these gold foil $70 prints that are now.
Oh, fuck, dude.
And who knows if there's probably something in the rider that you sign that
No
says
doubt.
if something happens, fuck you.
I hope that.
I would imagine.
Hope that maybe insurance.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
That's a good question. You're going to be taken care of at an event, right? They want to host Nerd Rage Radio. No questions asked. Spare no expense. What's your rider?
Yeah, can I be ridiculous about
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
A pack of gray and black Fruit of the Loom extra large wife beaters.
Doesn't sound ridiculous.
No, I've gotten a lot of humor over the years out of reading writers for artists. I even know. I heard recently about a. So I'm not going to say who it is, but you guys, well, Bobby, I know you would know at least. Their writer was so ridiculous that the person they ended up passing on there. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it Madonna?
No.
She's
Nobody,
known for one.
Nobody like that. No, it wasn't anybody like that. Oh gosh, what else would I want? Probably very specific face wash that I use. And the cool thing about it, a writer now, as long as you get it in advance, you can order everything on Amazon. It's like you have to run around. I can't find almond butter anywhere.
I think I would just be
Probably only green M&Ms. But now you can buy M&Ms by the color.
But yeah,
now.
yeah.
Raisin Bran, just the raisins out of Raisin Bran.
They have to be out of Raisin Bran.
Yeah,
Yes.
like Turtle do in Entourage.
I think I would just be liquor and pizza.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
I think that would be.
So
it
I
for
would
me.
want Baja Blast there and Dr. Pepper, and I'd just take all the drinks home with me.
And I want 2 rooms. One for the kids, this pesky meddling kids.
Oh, hotel rooms. Yes, that's
and
smart.
then one for us.
Yep.
And then maybe even a third one for the guys.
Hey,
Why don't you just ask for a whole floor, Bob?
Get a floor.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the guy's the limit in this fictional universe. Okay, sorry, continue.
No, that's I could come up with a million things. I make sure to have Coke Zero there for you. So Bobby's would be Belvedere, Sprite, orange juice,
Yep.
the tiny spoons,
Keep looking at it too.
Yeah.
the cotton candy vape juice.
Yeah, I have switched it to butter cookie.
Excuse me.
fancy.
Excuse me. Oh, 7 of your masks, just because they're hard to find.
They are hard to find.
Just 7 of them would be great.
It would be. I would appreciate that.
Yeah. What else would Bobby want? I'm missing something here. Oh, unsweetened peanut butter.
No.
But I would for real I would want peanut butter.
I do like peanut butter.
What about ketchup?
I do like ketchup. But it depends because, like, I really, it sounds, I mean, not that this sounds, but I really only eat ketchup on a few things now. Because
Right, but if you were like, hey, I need, for the entire time I'm here, I'm very particular about my ketchup.
yes, I would eat Heinz. But I can go simply Heinz. I've matured in that regard.
Growing.
Yeah, look at me.
Fancy pants over here.
I know. But it's just no extra, added stuff. It's the healthy Heinz.
Speaking of Heinz, what do you think of Heinz's mustard?
Oh, the collab?
Well, just in general, do you prefer Heinz the French's or?
So yellow mustard is one of the few things where the name brand doesn't matter. I'll go with store brand yellow mustard.
This is true.
They can't fuck it up.
Mustard.
I
Can't fuck it up.
I can't think of any mustard I ever had like this is awful. Mustard.
Yeah, for yellow mustard.
Just the-
I just recently learned that Mustard, the producer's first name is Dijon.
No, it's not.
And I was like, that's how I got the name.
There's no way.
It's like Dijonn.
That's cute.
Yeah. So I was like, then I was like, oh, now that all makes sense to me.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
Meant
And he
to
did
be.
a collab recently with Heinz
I saw.
for a mustard.
Yeah, they did basically just the screaming of the word mustard.
Right.
and
Right.
It's,
It's great.
it's pretty clever.
You know what?
Pretty
I like
clever.
it.
Yeah, it's great.
I like it. I like when people win.
Yeah.
I went and saw Captain America. I don't know if we want to have that
I
conversation.
haven't, but I haven't seen it yet.
I
but
did too. I saw it.
Okay.
What did you guys think?
After you?
Out of 10.
No, after me. I'm sorry. I forgot what month it was. It's ain't March.
Point of personal privilege. I'm gonna let the king of Wakanda go to Ollie's and then go tell me about the movie.
Where do you put it at out of 10?
I give it a 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. I was talking to Phil about it, and
That's a low score for what I would have expected.
I bet it is.
Yeah. But you used to hate Anthony Mackie too.
We had a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you got over it.
I was probably about an 8 on it.
Really?
I enjoyed it.
That's how progressive. You're like an ally.
Well,
So
I'm gonna buy your kids a bunch of Black Panther toys for Christmas and I'm gonna spend a grand total of $12 and you're gonna be like, what am I gonna do with all this shit?
so an 8.
Yeah.
Did you find it predictable at all? I think the trailers kind of made everything super predictable. Maybe, but.
So I didn't like the villain overall. And I know what they're going for here, but like even like the way he looked.
I was gonna say, was it the look or
it's a look, and I like that guy as an actor, but he's not menacing in any form or fashion.
His motivation seemed pretty hollow too.
It did. I mean, it made sense in the end.
It did.
And the trailers definitely painted a different picture. I thought Harrison Ford knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
I thought he
feel
did a great job.
I saw some interview with him recently where they were like, "How do you ever feel silly, like at a man of your age, like running around pretending to be like a giant red monster and screaming and carrying on?" He was like, "Yeah, that's where that money comes in."
Yeah, I can see him saying that.
Yeah, right.
You know,
He's great.
This pulled a lot of reference from Edward Norton Hulk movie.
So that's
a
what I was gonna
surprising
ask.
amount.
Did it feel more like a Hulk sequel as opposed to a Captain America movie? Because that's what it felt like for me.
I could see that for sure. I mean, it definitely had some elements in there, but I thought they tied it together well. I mean, it made a cohesive story.
I was watching a review of it, and they were talking about how because of the universal rights thing, Marvel can't make that standalone Hulk movie. So this was kind of a spiritual successor to that Hulk movie that they couldn't call the Incredible Hulk 2 because of rights issues.
Right.
So tied into Captain America, because we did the same thing with Civil War. We tied a bunch of stuff into Captain America. It's more like an ensemble, whereas this was more like...
Well, it's kind of like how Spider-Man...
Exactly.
You know, to an extent, how they use Spider-Man, but couldn't call it Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And you really wonder at this point, like, how much money does Universal want for them not to just sign it? Because they're not doing anything with it. I guess they're just getting paid off of it.
And in my opinion, the Hulk isn't the biggest asset. Like, honestly, when it comes to Marvel stuff, he ain't the biggest. And
He's not the biggest, but he's up there.
He's up there. He's, as far as name recognition and all that stuff, great. But they could do the rest of their universe without the Hulk, and I feel like they'll be fine. They can find somebody to fill that void.
So I do feel like in some ways they've done enough with the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got World War Hulk that coming down the pipe, but it's like after that, then what?
Yeah, because I feel like, but I feel that way for a lot of those characters from the first couple phases. Like, if we never see Iron Man again, like I'm good with that. Like, like I feel like I got my Iron Man story. You know, I'm ready to move on. I actually think, and I've been vocal about this, but I think that Marvel would benefit to just take a breath and do a couple phases that's like street level stuff. You know, your Daredevils, your Ghost Riders, your like just people that are like boots on the ground, not the big space stuff and the cosmic power shit, and just like, look, all this shit happened and now the infrastructure is broken. Criminals are running insane, and we need regular people to just put this shit back together while our super gods have kind of gone away.
And you know what? They don't have to spend $6 trillion on special effects
Take
for that either. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have
it.
You know, some wire work and some fight scenes and shit, but you're not going to have to pay video or the graphics people, you know, to work 7 million hours and get paid $20
2 million hours wages.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy Anthony Mackie in that role. I will say the counselor shtick got a little old every time. You don't have to do this. There's another way. It's like, bro, I get it. And they even called him out for it in the shows. Like, that shit ain't gonna work on me. I'm not your broken compadre or whatever. And there's a nice little cameo in there. I don't know if it's been spoiled or not, but you know, it ties into another movie coming out. So I thought that was an interesting little drop. I will say the after credit scene was probably the weakest after credit scene.
I didn't stay for it.
You didn't miss a damn thing.
What I do for Marvel movies, I've been doing it for like at least 10 years. I'll sit there and I'll Google, hey, is
there an after credit scene?
And hey, what is it? I don't see the video, but they'll say, hey, it's this, you know, whatever. So I decide whether or not I'm gonna stay for it. And that was one I was like, I don't need to see that. Get out of here.
So this is interesting. I went by myself.
Just watch it on YouTube later.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or they'll release it themselves like they do half the time. So I went to the movies by myself, which I think is an underrated experience.
I do too.
It's
one of my favorite
great
ways.
experience.
Yeah, I love it. Especially if it's something serious, though, to be fair. I like the big spectacle movies with friends, but like something that's like a thriller or
pay
heavy
attention
drama that I just want to like get lost in, that's perfect for myself.
Well, I mean, I prefer going like a Saturday morning.
Yeah,
like
nobody's in there.
9:30.
100%.
Arundel Mills has
100%.
Tuesday matinees
At Movie-Co?
and it's
100%.
It's amazing.
That's how I saw Oppenheimer.
I was just gonna guess. Oppenheimer.
9:30 in the morning, and I was like, set my day up perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Love it. I love
I
it.
saw it on an
It can only go up from here.
Yeah, right.
my oldest and his best friend did the Barbieheimer back to back.
Oh,
That was the thing people were doing.
I remember it.
So it was on Valentine's Day, which my wife and I are very happy Valentine's Day, kiss on the cheek, not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna go catch a movie. See you.
Well, and she was going to take the kids to look at Big Eyes down in DC anyway, so I was home by myself. And it's interesting, we're talking about waiting for the credits, like, and there's, we're sitting there, we see the movie, credits roll, and people get up and leave like they always do. But then there were people who stayed about halfway through the credits and then I'm like,
Now you know what? Fuck it.
you're not gonna, or maybe
10 more
maybe they
minutes.
were just plotting the next move on their phone. Who knows?
how many people are involved in this?
Right.
I was gonna go out to dinner like Outback or something, but I'm like, it's fucking Valentine's Day. I'm not gonna get near that place, so I had Taco Bell on the way home.
Solo, so many like single chicks would have been hitting on you that just came for
Bro,
like
I didn't think about that.
It's
It's too bad I'm not in the market.
Yeah.
Try to climb that mountain,
So I NJCC is this coming week, and I pulled a lot of my storage stuff out to start boxing up, packing up some stuff, and in that process created a lot of box trash. Threw a ton of figure boxes. Like I had started to like go through, there's a set of hands in, nope, fuck that, I just threw it all away. Ton of stuff got rid of. Had a bunch of our we had all got new computers, and my wife's always like, keep the boxes in case there's a warranty issue. Okay, great. Well, that was we're a year out of warranty. I filled the entire back of my Rogue up with just computer boxes. Anyways, I got rid of those. So I got a lot of work done on that. I had this diorama project I'm working on like 3 little diorama projects. I watched NBA All-Star Saturday night, which is the dunk contest and the 3-point contest and the skills challenge.
All right.
And it wasn't really that good.
That's what I'm hearing. I didn't watch, but I heard a lot of people saying that.
It was All-Star Weekend.
I guess.
Yeah.
And there's usually like some shenanigans at least that takes place. You know what I mean? Like some rapper shows up and
I don't even know where it was. Where was it?
I didn't hear much about it this year.
So I honestly, I've historically watched, even if I'm not watching the NBA season, I'm like, the dunk contest. Because I remember like when Spud Webb was jumping his little 5-foot ass off. Excuse me, Dominique, Kenny Skywalker, Harold Miner, all these people y'all never heard of really. That
these motherfuckers.
super in the And then in the dunk contest,
McClung.
yeah, thanks, Thunder Thief. So for the past 3 years now, a guy named Matt McClung, I believe his name is, who plays in the G League, which is the like developmental league, where he leads in points in a couple other categories for the whole league. Yet nobody will put him in the NBA. But the first year he won the dunk contest, the Magics had signed him in like a 10-day contract, which is something that they do in sports. You'll often see people do that. Like if somebody that played for the Ravens went and played for the Chiefs and wants to retire as a Raven, they'll sign him to a 10-day contract and he'll retire.
Or like
but they
Special Olympics or something like that.
Huh?
Do they do that like with the Make-A-Wish kids?
I don't know.
I thought they did.
I don't. They do the polar plunge. I don't know what else they do.
I know there's one wish they better not make it, and that's to take a picture with Kanye because he's turning them down.
What?
Probably so.
It was like one of his tweets.
Really?
He went on that
they were
ridiculous rant.
I heard he did a rant on Twitter, and I
ended up cutting it out of the show.
Okay.
We talked about it last week.
Oh,
but
you cut it out?
I cut it out because I was like, I started seeing too much backlash everywhere, and I was like, you know what? Let me just cut it out.
And there's a lot.
I gotta read this. I gotta look at it. I'm not even on Twitter, but I gotta find it.
Just remind me. I can send you some screenshots of highlights.
so
Because
much.
most
I
of it's
appreciate
gone
it.
now.
Yeah, but he had it back yesterday, Twitter, and then it's gone again.
Yeah, but even like even the people that reposted screenshots of it
Gone.
are gone now too.
Wow.
And then he got Instagram back also.
Wow.
This has been your Kanye West minute.
Yeah.
Or your weekly
Well,
update.
you didn't get any last week.
So Matt McClung
should've.
he won the All-Star game. The dunk contest. He jumped over a car and did some crazy stuff. And they've changed the format of that where it used to be like you get 3 chances. Now you have 30 seconds to do a dunk. So these kids will do like try to do the same dunk 6 times and won't be able to get it done, and then just do some basic shit at the end to get a score.
He had like an interesting like staccato one that I thought was pretty cool.
What was that?
Like he like paused mid dunk, like below the rim with the ball, and was still able to dunk it after.
Oh yeah, this kid's jumping. He dunked a ball. He jumped over a dude spinning on a hoverboard, and somebody else threw him the ball and he dunked it. It's just crazy. I mean, Dwight Howard dunked an 11-foot goal with a Superman cape on. I don't know if you ever.
I do remember that one.
And it seems like somebody jumped from the free throw line a long time ago. But it was also big wrestling this weekend. AEW was in Australia, mate.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, there's a bunch of drama about that because originally it was going to be a stadium show, but then they weren't selling enough tickets, so they moved to like a building, like just a like regular sports arena. And I noticed the first thing I noticed when I put it on, and they recorded it basically at 2 a.m. our time, but it didn't play till after the NBA All-Star game. I'm like, what kind of bullshit slot y'all got? Why didn't you pick any other weekend where TNT ain't playing this shit? So it comes on at like 11 o'clock or whatever, and the ring is not right. Like, it's not the normal ring they use. And it bumps like it looks like it bumps like shit. But I'm sorry. When they pretend to fall, they're really falling, and when they hit the map, it's called bumping. Mm-hmm. It's just got this hollow. Either it didn't look like it was bumping good, and it also wasn't mic'd correctly. I don't know if you know this, but they mic the rings underneath, so you hear that clang and you feel the impact through the sound. And the ropes are really loose. Anyways, it was a great show, but the discourse afterwards was about this fucking ring. So the rumor has it that they fucked up the freight and didn't get their ring shipped down. Truthfully, and people were like, look at the ring skirts. They're all bunched up on the end because they normally use a 20-foot ring, custom built to their specs.
Ring ship. I believe it's Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah. Well, they were in Australia, which is close to New Zealand, so they could have gotten Peter Jackson.
Fantastic point.
Long story short, this was the plan the whole time. They knew they were going to be using an 18-foot ring, and it just got completely. But it's so funny. It's like the first thing I noticed is the ring was weird. And I was even flipping back and forth and asking people, are you watching this? Does the ring look weird to you? That was the big stink, so to speak. So, let's see, what else did I watch? I watched this Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special.
I haven't, but I heard mixed reviews.
50 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
My familiarity, yes, I know the classic sketches from days gone by, but my familiarity, I will say the Adam Sandler pocket, and then probably like the one after that, and probably from Kenan Thompson on, because he's been on there for like 25 of the years.
He's the longest tenured cast member, right?
And I think Tim Meadows was behind him. Wow. But yeah, they both been there. They were both there a long time. But
Black History.
That was it. It opens with
when you're right, you're right.
It opens with Sabrina Carpenter. Are you familiar with her?
I am. Huge pop artist.
Huge.
Gonna be big.
She's got great songs,
charisma,
fantastic tracks. Can't get enough. But she opened the show with Paul Simon.
Of Simon and Garfunkel fame.
Well, he had quite a run on his own, but yes. You Can Call Me Al with Chevy Chase in the video. Remember that? So they opened the show with a song I didn't quite recognize. I'm not going to go through and name all the sketches, but they did talk about Puffy a lot.
Oh, really?
And they talked about all the people that were. They actually did like a whole sketch on things that they can't talk about or things they can't show. Or
I saw the Will Ferrell Not Like Us.
So they did on I think Friday night,
which was fun.
They did like a 4-hour concert. I didn't watch that, but that was part of it. And there was another reference to some of that. Lil Wayne and the Roots played a melody, not a
medley.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like cauliflower?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the seasonal vegetable? Oh, it's cauliflower medley. The fuck does that? Oh, it's carrots and cauliflower. It's barely cooked.
Yum.
Thanks. Make sure it's still crunchy. Yeah. Dude, you know what? Just don't fucking cook it. Just bring me the shit raw.
I would prefer it raw.
40 ounces.
Oh, baby, I like it raw.
Just a ton of butter at the bottom of the cup.
Gosh. So yeah, they did a medley and what's her name? Miley Cyrus, and the lead singer from the Alabama Shakes, whose name is Brittany something, who's actually from
a band
Alabama.
with Parkinson's, I believe.
Yeah, Alabama Shakes won a Grammy several years ago. I don't know. They're kind of a bluesy band. Anyways, they did a joint.
Alabama!
Definitely. They did a joint cover of Nothing Compares.
To You, Sinead O'Connor.
Well, I
written by
figured you'd
Prince.
say the Prince song.
Yeah.
But yes, they did a version of that. It was interesting. Yeah, I mean, it was basically here's that guy, here's that guy. Oh, hey, here's Robert De Niro and this and the other.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it happened, and I hate I have to bring this up again, but that motherfucker Martin Short was there.
Yes. Yes.
As him,
What didn't you like about it, Christopher? Did you
Well-
find him funny?
the only like presidential gag they did is Steve Martin was doing like the opening monologue, and here comes Dokey Do coming out, and then Steve Martin says, "Hey, do you have your passport?" And he says, "No," and then Steve Martin says, "Ice," and then these guys came and take him away, and I said to Kelly, "I was like, I wish they'd take that motherfucker away for good." I don't like Martin Short, by the way.
I was going to ask about that. 'Cause it seems personal at this point.
Yeah, I was
Well,
I was like,
Bobby's been giving me a lot of shit about it. I'm going to tell you this real quick. Somebody said something about Amy Schumer versus Martin Short, and I said I would rather watch Amy Schumer eat ribs for 8 hours.
Come on now, man.
than purposefully watch them.
Isn't it fun to watch someone eat something they really enjoy?
Why don't you like Martin Short?
I don't think he's funny. I think it's annoying. I never have thought that. I don't like him, and John Cusack can kiss my ass too.
Yeah, you do
I
hate
don't
them.
like John Cusack. I just don't like either
Those
one
are
of
two
them.
random ass people.
I
They
love.
are.
I love.
Oh, I
Lisa
got a
Barton.
list.
I love Primetime Glick. I love Martin Short, but I love Primetime Glick
All
specifically.
right.
man.
Oh, Martin Short can kiss my ass.
It's random as fuck.
So yeah, the SNL thing. I mean, I guess it was fine. It wasn't what I wanted it to be, but I don't know who they were like targeting because like my parents don't watch Saturday Night Live now.
I thought it was
I just
18
don't
to
know how many.
35-year-olds.
I just don't know how many people that were watching in 1975 are watching it today. Right?
Right.
I mean, it's I don't know.
Yeah, it's a long run.
There's a lot of good gags in it. A lot of it was like inside jokes. The funniest thing was watching people trying to fucking die laughing. Eddie Murphy might have been the best part of that.
He's great.
So they did they did Black Jeopardy. And it was Kenan Thompson hosting. Leslie Jones, you guys know who she is?
I'm not
Yes.
good with names.
I know.
the big
tall
girl,
black
the big
lady,
girl
yeah.
with the short hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was her, and it was Tracy Morgan as
He's great.
just a regular guy. And then it was next to him was Eddie Murphy as Tracy Morgan. And his impersonation of him and him standing right there, Tracy Morgan didn't break at all. He was great.
That's great.
They did this other like scared straight thing where Kenan Thompson and Eddie Murphy were in this classroom, like telling the kids, like, you gonna go to school, you go to a prison, they're gonna, you gonna have a boyfriend, and making all these innuendos. And then Eddie Murphy, they did several of them, but I know one time Eddie Murphy did he was like, yeah. And you gonna come home one day and everybody at the table gonna be fat. But you're gonna realize it's all the same person. You're like, did you just explain the Nutty Professor? No, definitely not. And then Will Ferrell comes out as the gay guy in prison. He's like, it's really not that bad. It's all about perspective or something like. And then he tells a story that's basically one of his movies, and they're all just trying so hard not to die laughing.
Yeah, that's
I can
the
only
best.
imagine.
That's the best.
the best. But
I love that.
It
Any
was
bit
fun.
where you're like doing it, and you can't fuck it up, and you had to watch them like try not to crack. It's so fucking good, man. I remember there was this one with Borat. Or Ali G when he was trying to sell the ice cream glove, and at the end, like he went around to Trump, he went around to like all these people, like these like huge, like, wealthy people that could back ideas, and he was like, "What is the most popular thing in the world?" And they're like, "I don't know, music." He's like, "No, ice cream." "What is the problem with ice cream?" It melts." It's correct. It drips, gets on your hands, gets them all well sticky. So what has I done? Made a drip-proof ice cream. Well, no, that's bloody fucking brilliant, though, isn't it? You're not gonna take that as you like. I made an ice cream glove. So you wear the glove while you're eating ice cream, so it don't get on your hands. And like you get in your favorite Star Wars, Lakers, whatever. Like he's trying to sell this shit. This one dude's finally like, I think it's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. And he's like, all right, I got a second one. And he brings out this skateboard that's got no wheels on it, you know? And he's like, what's this? And he like puts his hand like over his face because he's starting to fucking lose it, you know? And the guy's like, a toothbrush. I don't know. What is it? He's like, come on, cooperate. What is it? And it's like, you tell me. And he's like, it's an hoverboard. And then he like puts his hand like all, because you can tell he's like fucking losing it, you know? And they're like, well, it doesn't hover. And he's like, it doesn't hover yet. And they're like,
It's a pre-order.
they're
right?
like, well, how are you gonna make it hover? He's like, that's where you come in. You guys come up with the science, whatever. So you know, but he's like fighting the laugh the whole time. It always works.
From the edge, right there on the edge is the good
Yeah.
stuff. Guys, I have to say this with, I don't know how much pride, but I finished the final episodes of the final season of Cobra Kai.
I
It's over.
guess. How was it?
I couldn't possibly explain it to you, but I will say that Kreese and Silver get in a fight on a yacht and it blows up, and that's how they die. That's
Wow.
yeah.
Was it a satisfying ending?
Honestly, that to me felt like, well, literally everybody else gets wrapped up. What are we gonna do to these two guys? Let's blow them up on a boat. Okay, and like I don't even know what Kreese got on the boat because there's a lot of stuff that made no sense. Like they're in this karate tournament, right? So stupid. It's so dumb. This is probably like Housewives level stupid of me to admit I'm watching, but we all have our guilty pleasures. And at a certain point, I'm like, well, I'm 4 seasons in. I might as well just finish it. And I think this was season 6, right? So I watched it as it came out. Other than I think the first 2 seasons were on YouTube at first.
Yeah.
And then the 3rd season got put on Netflix. So there's this tournament, and the score is super duper important. Like every hit they get is a point, and it gets down to the very end, and they're, you know, all of a sudden it's over and everybody's celebrating, and nobody happens to notice this scoreboard that was super important 2 seasons ago is tied, and nobody's fucking noticed it. So what happens has to happen. The senseis have to fight. So it's this badass dude and then Johnny Lawrence have to fight for the championship, and so Johnny wins his All Valley championship or whatever.
Nice, dude.
It all wraps up pretty nice.
That's good. It's hard to close.
I will say they did some CGI M.U.G.A in the finale or next to last episode. I'm like, you could have just shown him from the back and done the voice because you didn't have the money for this, and it's it honestly
it's like one of those things you have to do it, right?
Well, they did it. They did it once before, and it wasn't nearly as.
Okay.
But this was a fight scene.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it just like, because most of it was shot from his back. You know, you just see this little bald guy flipping around or whatever. But it's like Yoda, kind of, right?
You remember how mad he got when Daniel caught that fly with them chopsticks?
That's a big.
He got mad as shit.
So that's a flashback scene, actually. that actually wraps up the whole show.
Because he had been trying to do it for years, and he couldn't do it. And then Daniel just picked up the chopsticks, like, thump, and he's like, he says something like, beginner's luck or something.
A man that can catch a fly with chopsticks can do anything. And he's like, I did it. And he walks away. Well, I'll tell you, the end of it, Daniel and shit, I just said his name. Johnny are sitting at breakfast. Johnny goes to do something, and he's trying to get the fly, and Johnny walks up and just goes, smacks it in his hand and says, got it. That kind of just wrapped it all up.
Nice. That's nice.
It was cool the way they did it.
Yeah.
You know, there were some touching moments in it overall.
Good.
Something else to not have to watch now, right? The obligation is over.
Yeah. Is that it for you?
I believe that's it.
All right, let's take a quick break so I can refill my glass. And we're back. So, Farrell, how was your nerd week?
I can't wait to hear the back end of the training class. I've been on pins and needles all week for this. I didn't want to spoil it.
It concluded.
It concluded today.
Let's make some noise for you concluded the training.
And luckily, it's at the top of my notes.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, concluded today. It was fucking terrible. So...
Did they ask for feedback at the end?
They did.
Oh,
they did.
Hopefully you all roasted them pretty good.
Yeah. So last week, off Wednesday.
For all that weather.
And so Thursday, we went in at, 8 a.m. and they said, due to a scheduling conflict with the lead instructor, you guys are going to be done at 11:30 in the morning. So we were off early.
How did they possibly get 8 hours of talking into 3.5 hours?
8 hours of very important talking, I'm sure.
They tried really hard.
Yeah.
And then Friday, they let us out at 10:15,
What time did you have to be there?
8 a.m. Then we came in on Tuesday today, when we could have just done a full day Thursday and a full day Friday and called it fucking good and then walked away. But no, I had to take another day out of my production schedule to go for this class.
How long did they keep you today?
Till the very fucking end.
Oh.
Right. So I had to do presentations this morning.
Oh, so it was a little bit more interactive.
Yeah, it was fucking garbage because they had to throw the whole script out and then well, it was fucking terrible. Then we took the test. Half the class failed.
Nice.
Oh, no.
I didn't though.
So you're saying... But you're saying more than 5% was retained?
Oh, 70%. So nailed it.
Nice. I like it.
Right on target.
Nailed it. But so then afterwards, they're like, hey, so it's like 2:00 or something like that. And they're like, well, normally we just do this, you fill out this form online to give us feedback, but we haven't given you a break today. I know everybody's hungry. So why don't we stay here for another 45 minutes and talk about bullshit when you could just fucking leave? So he came to me to ask feedback and I just laid into him, the organization,
Nice.
Yeah.
So
That organization does need a shake-up.
So now you are trained to teach what he was teaching you?
No.
Okay.
No, so they taught at like I should have a BS in education, but now I can like carry the papers,
Gotcha.
which is like half the fucking problem. So like I think at one point today I said I would rather go back overseas and get shot at than sit through another class. And I think that kind of hit home for him. He's like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Yeah, it was that bad." So
Does the guy know that it's bad, or does he,
So I don't know.
write
So-
the curriculum?
no, he doesn't write it,
Okay.
right? But he gave me the standard answer, like the same kind of bullshit that he did last time, where it's like, like this is instruction is important and the information is important. I'm like, how? Like, how is this important for what you're asking me to do with it? Like, how does it apply to my job? It doesn't. It's fucking nonsense. It's over the top. It's extra. And it's also, you can say you're accredited.
Yep.
Right? And it's
so
a
everybody
waste of
keeps getting paid.
everybody's fucking time. The machine keeps on rolling.
Yep.
And the federal grant money and the state grant money. And it's just like, stop it. Like, stop wasting our fucking time.
Yep.
I
Let's
would
get
have
better procedures in place. I mean, I wish we had somebody of leadership role that could, take notes and really just make a difference in these kind of things.
Right.
Right.
So it's like,
it's crazy. As you like it, just the racket of it all.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Not related to racket, but I had a frustrating work thing that relates to wasting time on things that don't matter. I have to do month-end reporting every month for my accounts.
TPS reports?
You're almost fucking close. And part of that is when I'm doing my cover sheet, I have to find all these metrics. And most people in my role manage one account. I manage 6. So it's not a flex. That's like, if you add all mine together, they're nowhere near as much. But part of it is I have to like look up the interactions and all these percentages and all these metrics, and there's these different pages. And my boss and I were going over it, and I said, "Does anybody look at this shit?" I said, "Because this takes like the bulk of the time, and the dread I have to do this is going through fucking Salesforce and pulling 38 spreadsheets and dashboards that may not." I had one that was totally screwed up. I had to get the guy to fix it. I'm like. And he's like, "Nah, you don't need to do any of that. Just write out what you're writing out."
Yeah, it's like my boss wanting mileage reports for my truck. And I'm like, it has way too many fucking miles on it. And he's like, "Okay, how many miles?" I'm like, 281. He said, "When's your oil change due?" I'm like, "Do you care?" Like, I get the oil changed. Like, Why do I have to send a report of all
Yeah.
this nonsense to you for you to just throw it in the dart? In the garbage?
Right into the recycling.
Yeah.
It's actually, we don't even have a tray for the printer to catch the paper. It just prints off right into the recycling.
Yeah.
You see, we're putting new cover pages on all our TPS reports.
In duplicate.
Did you get that memo?
There was a place that we work. It was the 11th building that they opened, and the way that they had their printer set up was right over the recycling bin. And every time a piece of information came in, it would just go right out of the printer and right into the recycling bin. Back in the day.
Never saw it. I never saw that fax.
Yeah. So, thank God it's done. Right. So, next thing on here I have is The Expanse.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Hey,
That's when I should have got my drink.
you're welcome, Bobby. So I'm in season 6 now, episode 3, I believe.
Okay.
Season 5 was awesome. Right. Probably the best.
Yeah.
Sad to see Alex die.
Do you know the backstory around that?
Which part?
About why Alex died? I'll tell you. I was waiting on you to watch this before I mention it. Cass
stroke that he had?
Cass Anvar, who plays
Oh, like off camera.
the guy who plays Alex. Do you remember the Me Too movement?
Did he get canceled?
He got canceled.
Oh,
He
wow.
got stroked in real life.
No, well,
No, he did the stroking. Or
He was asking to get stroked in real life itself.
so they reshot that and they
You
reshot.
can't ask?
It's a yes or no
What
question.
are the parameters of this shit anymore?
It was something to do with
Say no.
he's also a voice actor for some anime or some animated something, and it was actually some shit he had done with some I don't know what age girls, inappropriate
Oh, shit.
stuff. Yeah, so he originally didn't die in that scene. They had to go back and edit things, and like the scene where Naomi and Jim are talking and about him dying, that was all they did that
done in
after the
post.
fact. But if you actually look at the scene where they're on Luna, there's always an empty, like Magnus is just sitting there by himself and there's an empty chair. Yeah, they cut him out. And yeah, so in the books, he doesn't die. Yeah, he's a.
Well, the books
40
he
years
doesn't
later.
do the whatever he got caught for in the Me Too.
No, he didn't. But
That would have been meta, though.
It was sad. It was sad to see him die.
He'd be
Because,
like, I'm just acting out the part.
right. Because I mean, it's
really in my role.
Immersive acting.
it was a character you kind of got attached to with his
Yeah.
silly drama with his family and
And then it's kind of like just like, oh, by the way, he had a stroke.
yeah. Well, you know what? Watching back, they talk about that all the fucking
yeah, I mean-
time. Every time they hit the and what did they
That's
just
the
get
juice.
done doing? Yeah, the adrenaline basically they're giving you and made him stroke out.
Stroke of bad luck.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
me.
like-
Essentially,
Marco's a real dickhead.
you mean Marco Anaros
And his son,
and the Free Navy? Yeah, Philip.
wow, it is interesting. So like I have like it reminds me of like the kids of some powerful politicians now, right? Like completely disconnected. You know,
So
like-
you've seen what
Celebrities
happened.
as
You've
well.
seen what happened at the bar on series with the vest, then, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
making
yeah,
sure I'm not speeding.
Yeah,
on
no,
you.
you're good. So yeah, entitled psychopathic megalomaniac is what I wrote.
That's fair.
Big words.
I've
Political podcast now.
I'm gonna come.
I tell you, a death I didn't see coming was Fred Johnson.
oh yeah,
That was rough. I was a big fan of Fred.
and it was weird to me.
It was
that,
Chad Coleman from The Wire, by the
Okay.
way.
It was weird to me that so that the person that shot him, I can't remember her name,
Yeah.
but like how did
Too
she
bad. So sad.
Yeah, but how did she get so close to somebody so powerful?
She was the tech. I don't know. I guess she was good at her techie stuff and had
It's
gotten
like-
washed. And Diogo,
Oh, yeah.
that's an interesting arc that Diogo has.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to not it being over, but completing what has been made so far.
Nice.
So,
Are you familiar with The Expanse?
I don't know anything about it.
oh, you can start watching it after Joe.
Sounds like a cult, dog.
We got years of this, Bobby.
It's a sci-fi, the best sci-fi TV of the last 10 years, probably the last 20 years. It's on Amazon Prime, 6 seasons.
In some ways, will it ever end?
So Bobby likes to say it's a sci-fi show.
But he can't name 4 others that have been good in the past. 'cause
But I don't watch them.
It's not his genre.
Andor.
So I watched a congressional meeting on YouTube. And I can't pronounce his name. He's some Republican congressperson. About this whole, like, I guess this is from 8 days ago. Right. So 40,000 government employees is what they want
Correct.
to be gone. When they offered them that early retirement,
The buyout.
The
buyout.
Heard that
VSP,
paperwork
the
kinda
voluntary
shady, too.
separation.
I've heard that too.
It's not legal.
I've heard mixed reports about like the 25,000 cap and all this shit. Like, I don't know, but go ahead.
so he was doing the math and he said it would save $6 billion.
It's a huge amount of money.
But then he talks about how it's not a huge amount of money.
It's really not. No, I actually saw the same thing.
It's 1 day of borrowing.
Yeah.
So like, he's trying to, and like,
It's a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing, and like, I'm not saying that I like this congressperson. I don't know much about him. Like, I'd have to
Like his name,
Chuck.
Chuck. Gotcha.
I can't pronounce Schweirark or something like that. I don't know, but
It's a bad month to say that.
so we spend 136% of the tax that we take in.
You got room to grow.
You know, so it's just like,
Well, it's not gonna be our problem.
well, I mean, it's scary.
It is scary.
You know, and I'm not sure. I'm not saying I know what the answer is.
Well, like the spending that we've like, and once again, we're not supposed to be a political podcast, but the spending, we're getting old. It's what it is. But the spending that we've been doing, right, since George W. Bush doubled the debt ceiling in 8 years. It's the first time it had been done in one presidency. And then Obama took that and
Now watch
doubled
this
it in
drive.
8 years. And then Trump did that and was like, I can do you one better, and doubled it in 4 years. And then Biden was like, well, I can do what he can do. And then he doubled it in 4 years, you know? So it's like everybody's just playing the same game. Like all this shit with like even the shit like the, you know, like the fucking condoms to fucking Gaza, right? Which is true. It's misframed from what I can tell. There was some huge HIV/AIDS issue there, and we sent money to try to lock down because it was getting out of Gaza.
Yeah.
Right. So as a result, some of that money got spent towards condoms, but we weren't just spending $56 million or whatever it was for condoms in Gaza. However, I am for tightening the belt generally on, right? So like when they're like, and also we spent, you know, $38 million to Ireland for them to learn a little dance to represent, you know, women's struggles. Like, no, I don't want to spend money on that.
Look, stuff like that, right?
But let me just land real
I
quick.
have a point after yours.
All of that shit is all foreign aid shit, right? Which I'm all for tightening up. But the perspective also needs to be kept on it is that we spend less than 2% or 1%.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1% on foreign aid in our federal budget. So it's like, yes, these are good cuts, but we got 99.2% left.
Yeah, I think it was
to work out.
$56 billion on foreign aid,
Right.
out of a 1.3 trillion.
I think what people are missing with the U.S. aid program that they cut is that's global stability for pennies on the dollar, right? I mean, we are
Well, and
at
there's
least
also
keeping
our-
a decent reputation. And I mean, I don't know. I saw a video. Some woman was trying to go to like the doctor's office, which is paid for by the U.S. aid program in some other country.
Well,
no more doctor.
So, like pulling out of it creates a void that you know our international competitors will happily fill
That's what I'm saying. It's global stability and
just for the ability to say we think you should do it this way.
And I think we all know that there's an excess of spending, and I think both sides of the aisle are against like petty spending. I think, you know, generally speaking, but I think it needs to be framed properly.
Yeah.
And I think it needs to be, you know, I think it needs to live up to its transparent reputation, or at least declaration. And then I think that on top of that, it needs to be kept in perspective of the amount of spending that we're doing.
Yeah. So I just brought it up because, you know, while I'm aware of a lot of this stuff, having it framed in a hours kind of way, the way he did it, like how much we borrow, like cutting this program is 7 seconds of borrowing out of a 365-day year. Like it's almost like it's a rounding error. Who gives a fuck at that point, you know? But then you talk about like like how do you cut something all the way down to 50%?
Right.
It's going to be stuff that we don't want to see gone.
Right.
And the people leaving, I'll give a great example. My company offered a voluntary separation program. I think I might have mentioned it to you guys off air last year, and it basically you got 2 weeks pay for every year you were vested, and I think you're still eligible for end of the year incentive if you did it by a certain date. And I was surprised by how many people took it. Like there were people my age, people younger, a lot of people that were near retirement age, which I think most of the time it's kind of like pushing people out.
Yeah.
But what they didn't think about is, and I said this when it happened, I was like, well, if we lose 3 people from that department, if we lose 1 person from that department, we're fucked. If we lose 2 people from that department, we're really fucked. And guess what? 2 people left from that department, and you know what? I spent about half my day trying to resolve the issues that are caused by not having enough people in that department. But even leadership was like, well, we didn't have any effects from the VSP. It's like, yeah, we did. This person that works in this department and this person who did about half their time in this department, they left, and we're not backfilling them. So do we just need to tell our people that going forward don't have an expectation for a speedy answer? Like, if you don't put the bodies in here to do the job, how can I tell my customers that, yeah, I'll turn this around in 48 hours? No,
And
it's going to be
also,
3 fucking weeks.
If I have to do more work, where's my fucking pay?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
And that's the exact mindset I think a lot of the people that I work with have right now, you know. And I think corporate America in general is just fed up with stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, well, we did good news, Farrell. You get to keep your job. Headcount reduction. We lost 3 people, but we're going to need you to pick up the work for Bobby, Evan, and Chris. Are you familiar with the projects that we're on? Because we're going to need updates on those in the next 2 weeks.
so I get to work Saturday and Sunday for no extra money.
And I just don't know how many.
Where's that severance package thing I can sign now?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, why don't you do a second round of that now and see what happens? See what kind of headcount reduction you get now.
so work.
For equal pay.
Tell me about it, huh?
So I was already behind before I had to take off now 6 work days for this class. And I feel bad, right? Because I have customers calling like, hey, where's this order at? You said 3 weeks, and that was, 5 weeks ago. And I'm like, 2 more weeks.
Right.
And like, I have a great customer base where they're ordering stuff at a rate that I can't produce it. So it's like job security.
Good problem to have.
It's a good problem.
Right. But I can't find people to fucking work. Like, I've offered like 18-year-old kids like $20-something an hour to be like an assistant, which is basically just like menial things around my shop in order to make me more productive because I'm the only one that can do half the shit I'm doing.
Right.
And they're like,
what are you paying CNC operators? I don't know how to operate CNC. I don't know how to use shitty software on my laptop.
I mean, so like I was offering sleeves, $23 an hour.
And he was like, no.
He was like, I'm cutting grass. And I'm like, in the winter? He's like, well, I'm shoveling snow. And I'm like, it's raining outside. He's like, I'm good.
He just doesn't want to work.
You just don't want to work. So it's like I either go after somebody that wants $50,000 a year to just like help me move plastic around and like take the trash out and like do all these menial things, or I just do it myself.
Group of people who would do manual labor cheap.
You need to, you know what you need to find. Have you looked at, and I say this
It's
with
a
all
cool
sincerity,
idea, almost like an ice cold idea. So
have you looked at the retiree market? I mean, if it's literally just, I had good luck when I was hiring people that had retired from whatever industry. You just wanted something to do.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the majority of the part-time labor that works for my company is retirees, and it's annoying as fuck.
G Money is always looking for work.
I might talk to him.
Yeah.
So I missed trivia last night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry you missed trivia. See if maybe I have a trivia question for you real quick.
Here you go.
No, these don't form questions though.
So, but my team did send me the picture round, and it was celebrities before they were celebrities.
Ooh, do you have the picture? I want to play.
Yeah, I can probably bring it up real quick.
I'm really good at this.
Are you really? Well, you know a lot of celebrities by name and shit. You're always like, you know so and so. I'm like, no.
That's why I always try to give you a reference.
Yeah.
You know, he played the drug dealer. I mean, that's easy.
I know who that is. Hove.
Yeah, Jay-Z.
Yep.
Did they get it?
They did not, but I did.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my guy.
He's a new team.
So I was just,
All charges dropped, by the way.
yeah. So Joey's not here, and I was like, well, maybe I'm a super recognizer, or at least above average, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me jump into mine. I don't have a whole ton, but I do have. I went to my baby did a performance. She was King Triton in Little Mermaid.
Nice.
I got a little audio of it. We're gonna sit through it together.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hold on. Where is it? Yeah. Oh shit! Sorry.
Fucking Apple.
Sorry. No, I unplugged it. Hold on. What the fuck?
As a result of your careless behavior, careless and reckless behavior, the entire celebration was, well, it was ruined. That's a complete vegan destroyed. This concert was to be the pinnacle of my distinguished will. Now, thanks to you, I am the mapping south of the entire kingdom.
So these kids mostly suck. You'll hear mine in a second. She's really good. And I'm biased. Almost over. Hold on.
You're absolutely right, Sebastian. Of course. Ariel needs constant support. Constant. Someone to watch over her and keep her out of trouble. All the time. And you are just the girl to do it.
I love it.
He's cute.
But anyway, she did like a fucking good job.
She
you know?
projects.
She projects.
does.
and she like gets into. She like has like little hand movements and shit.
Did you say that? She takes some
yeah.
acting stuff?
So this is like one of her like the classes.
Oh, I
that
thought
she-
it was at school. Okay.
Yeah. So like and you know we run lines at home, and I was playing Sebastian. I was putting a little sauce on the accent.
I'm sure.
The kids weren't doing it. You know, I felt like I could have done it
I
better.
was kind of disappointed.
yeah.
And better if you'd have walked up and been like, "Get out of the way! I know the lines."
I just grabbed the little crab hat and put it on. I'm gonna sell this on my accent. Careless and reckless behavior. Anyway, so I went to that and it was cool, and she was super like, you know, excited about the whole thing, which was awesome, and she did a good job. So the other thing I wanted to say,
I will say that I'm not a fan of the gender switch on the casting. It just doesn't work for me.
I get it.
What are they saying about it on Twitter? Are they roasting them?
They're digging
Kanye had some really good thoughts on it.
They're like, who's in charge of this? Walt Disney, you know? So another thing I wanted to talk about, you had said something about like pettiness and relationships when you know, talking about breakups and so on and so forth. And a lot of scuttlebutt has been going around about Tony Braxton's Not Man Enough for Me as the pettiest like breakup song. Like you can have him, he wasn't man enough for me. But there's a song by Sway Lee called Reality Check that I advise everyone to give a listen. And the hook of it is, who needs a reality check? I come to check your reality. I come to check on my ex and make sure she ain't doing better than me. And that to me is the most petty song ever written. Little Italy. I went to Little Italy on Saturday night. I took the kids for Valentine's Day as like took them out to dinner. And we went to Baltimore and we ate at Sabatino's, which isn't what it used to be, I'll have you know, but it was still fine. We got waited on by a young lady who I can only imagine lives in Dundalk. Her name was Kitty, as you might imagine. And she was every bit of 68, and I'll owe you one, and definitely smoked 2.5 packs of Marlboro Reds that day.
So she was what we'd call road hard and put up wet.
Yes. And
Salt of the earth.
But that being said,
Hands of leather.
That being said, I quite enjoyed her. I thought she was.
I love a good older sassy waitress.
Yeah. She's making a killing there, I'm sure. You know, so she comes up to the table. This is her introduction, right? Can I get you guys something to drink? Fair introduction, right? Yeah. Let's say 5 waters is what I said. And I'm trying to make a decision whether alcohol or soda is, but you know, it's kind of early. And I was like,
kids are young too.
That's also true. And I was like, you know, and she was like, I'll come back with the water. I was like, okay. She gets 10 feet from me and says to herself, but loud enough for the whole table to clearly hear it, he has no idea what he wants. I was like, I don't know you, but I'm in. I'm
That's
in.
awesome.
You've got me. I'm here for the ride now.
Oh, that's funny.
But that was largely the extent of the excitement. But
What did you get?
to eat,
Yeah.
I got chicken parm because I was in the mood for not just to eat pasta. I wanted some protein. I sampled everybody's, of course, except for Leia's chicken tenders or chicken day tenders, and I had Selena got penne and vodka sauce. It was clearly the best. It was the best choice.
Favorite.
It was the best choice.
I almost
at the
always
table.
get that on the menu.
It was the
Love
best
some
choice at
vodka
the
sauce.
table. But it was good. Then we went to Vacaro's, got cannolis and rainbow cake, and came home. And
If the cannolis there.
fantastic, fantastic.
I'll eat a cannoli if presented, but
I'm gonna cut that out. God damn it. 1:30. All right.
oh, these are warm.
I do.
I've had these before. I don't know if anybody gets that from. You guys know that gag?
No,
The movie Van Wilder.
it's been too long.
The
He has
dog?
his bulldog fill up the eclairs, and they take him to the frat house, and the guy's like, "Oh, these are warm," and another guy says, "Oh, I've had these before." I'm not a big fan of cannolis. Overall, if I'm going to pick a dessert, it's not going to be a cannoli unless that's what we're having.
Yeah.
Then I'll eat it, but it's just I don't know.
It's not your first choice.
Yeah,
It's never going to be my first.
I don't think it's many people's first choice. Go to, hey, I want a cannoli today.
Yeah, I'm a fan, but also I ate it with a Pinkerton spork,
Yes, I saw that you
and I got
posted
news
this
for
spork
you.
show.
That is the perfect spork eating food.
So-
because it does good on picking up the cream, so to speak, and then it's good for breaking up the waffle. Also, it's
There you go.
It's like a regular sport.
it's perfect.
It's like a fork
Perfect.
and a spoon
You know
at the
what?
same time.
Speaking of sports, I was actually looking to get some professional sports for the house, like metal sports.
Well, that's what we got.
Well,
Yeah.
did I get them for Christmas a couple years ago? Is that what it was? A gag?
I put them in the kitchen at work.
yeah.
And they're still celebrated there.
Yeah, I love it. I love the idea. One of the best, most undersung inventions.
Exactly.
I'm
Shout out to-
not even lying about that.
like KFC used to be the only spot you get them, because
Yeah.
you could eat your macaroni and cheese and your gravy and
it's amazing.
just
All
you could
in one.
just eat gravy.
Because
But
now the packets come with a knife, spoon, and a fork. Just bring sporks back.
That's right.
Make sporks great again. But
I'll make some hats.
yeah, I'll buy one.
Will you wear it?
Yeah.
It's red and white.
Yes, because I think the message needs to get out there.
Well, we're trying to make sporks great again, but you got to be born sport.
You gotta be more.
Yeah, we're deporting his foreign made sporks.
None of that utensil citizenship and whatever.
Utensils.
Utensilship.
Is that Mugga?
Mugga.
Make utensils great again?
Mugga.
Let's print those hats, please. Can we? And then just have a picture of a spork on the back.
Yeah.
You said you were in Little Italy. Have you been to Waffleicious?
I have not.
Oh, it's a great.
Is it a great Italian restaurant?
Yes,
Did they have waffles?
and they're delicious.
Okay.
It's all in the name.
So
it's like
nicely
fancy
known.
dessert type waffles. They put them in a cone.
Oh, no
fill it
shit.
with ice cream or whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's so decadent and it's great.
Yeah. No, I'm for it. I'm here
Waffles
for it.
in a waffle cone?
Yeah, but it's a proper waffle
A proper waffle in a
Proper
waffle.
as a waffle cone.
Oh, as a waffle
It
cone.
was
Yeah.
so good I had to follow them on Instagram.
Ooh.
Damn. Yeah, I'm not mad at you. But anyway, it was kind of like they've been to Little Italy in New York multiple times, but they've never been to Little Italy in Baltimore, which is, I guess, par for the course. But at some level, it felt like a passing of the torch in some way. Like my family took me to Sabatino's, and now I took my kids to Sabatino's, and I don't know. And even though it's not what it used to be, I like that it was their first restaurant experience down there.
Yeah, I feel that way about most Waffle Houses.
Yeah, I bet.
Alabama.
Alabama!
So anyway, other than that, I've been watching more South Park.
Nice. You know what's strange? I ended up watching a South Park and Family Guy this week. Like my wife's been in this Family Guy kick. But I'll go ahead with your South Park.
Well, no, I was just like, I watched this episode. I've been watching it over the course of 2 weeks, so I'm not sure what I've talked about, what I haven't talked about. But the Pajama Day one, so it's pretty great. So like these kids, they get in trouble at school, and then they get banned from Pajama Day. And if you have kids right now, you know that Pajama Day at school is a big fucking deal. It's a big fucking deal.
Fuck them fucks wear pajamas every day to school.
Yeah, that's also true. The high schoolers specifically, which is weird because when I went to high school, it was
all about
fucking
fashion.
You had to flex. Yeah, now it's nobody cares.
Crocs
anymore.
and pajamas.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And hoodies.
Yeah, and hoodies.
And Nike.
Oversized.
Yes.
And Nike 270s because that's what kids are all wearing.
So anyway, I say that to say this is that so these kids get banned from Pajama Day. The parents try to make a statement, so they start wearing pajamas to work, and then they all stand in solidarity of wearing pajamas. But then they put up signs like on their workplace for like, if you're not wearing pajamas, you're not allowed in. So like if you try to go to a restaurant, you better have your pajamas, or you can't get into the restaurant. Now, if you sit down at a table, you can put on whatever you want. But you had to wear pajamas into and they're like, what difference does it make? It's like all this metaphor for masks, right? It's like, it's fucking hysterical. So I watched that, and then I also, lastly, I watched. So last night I had a hard time sleeping, and I kept watching, coming back and watching YouTube to go to sleep, which is my normal go-to. And every now and then you come across something that's either so good, so bizarre, or so intriguing.
You can't look away.
You can't look away. So I ended up watching about 2 hours worth of documentaries on Smith Island in Maryland.
That cake is pretty fucking good.
So I've never had a slice.
It's a lot of layers.
Yeah, it's very layered.
It's a lot of layers.
It's very
But
layered.
It looks labor intensive.
Yeah.
Laboring layers of Smith Island cake.
Yeah. Layer bird intensive.
A lot of laws on that.
Yeah.
It is a very I'd never heard of it till I moved here.
Yeah. So anyway, learning about the history of it and the amount of people, like I think the max population at one point was like 600. It's like dwindled down to like 200 now or less. And so mostly like, watermen, as they call it. They oyster in the winter, they crab in the summer.
I watched that video too.
They just had a 60 Minutes thing recently.
Maybe that's what it was.
But I ended up finding another documentary on YouTube and watched it. And
the cake. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a thing, and you
I feel like I've had it before. I
so
just didn't know what the
and this lady, the lady that's like known for making them, she sends them to. She said like Iran, like a couple like random.
Yeah, I think they're on that Good Belly thing,
and she doesn't charge. She doesn't charge ahead of time.
What?
She like sends them out, and then people mail her a check.
That's right. So that's whatever.
She was like, I ain't got a credit card machine.
Whatever I watched. Yeah, with the same thing. I'm just wondering what happened to the butcher and the candlestick maker. The guy, the baker. I don't hear about the other two.
Very trusting.
Probably
lady.
a story there.
But like it's completely falling apart from like erosion and
The island or the cake?
the island.
Oh, okay.
Cake has a lot of frosting. It holds together pretty well.
And then like some people are like moving there from other places to like try to find this like last remnant of Americana. But it's not what it used to be. They're chasing something that doesn't really exist anymore. And and they're also like kind of like impacting the culture because they're losing the culture the more that these other like New Jersey people or whatever are moving in. Fucking Jersey.
I think I watched the exact same thing because some people, they interviewed a woman from New Jersey.
Yeah.
must have
That was
watched
the
the
60
same.
Minutes one. So I watched, like I said, like 2 or 3 of them. I was hooked.
When's the trip?
So I looked into it and I found an Airbnb. It's like a mansion
No
there.
shit.
And I'm thinking about taking the family for like a night to
that's
this fucking
cool.
place to like stay in this mansion or whatever. I mean, it's mansion, lowercase m.
Yeah, whatever.
But like to stay there, like overlooks the water or whatever, just to like experience it, have like a fucking slice of cake, a crab cake, and get the fuck out of there. But you can't drive there. You got to take a ferry. Like it's
No, I
like,
don't think there's a grocery store. There's like
There's
a little
one.
corner store
There's
kind
one.
of
he
bodega thing.
takes you the whole way.
yeah.
cool.
on the
Sounds
river.
like a great.
Yeah, but it's gonna be that's fine.
It's on the river. The river.
Off that.
It's on the river Styx. You know, it's really a lot of fun.
Yep.
Takes you right there.
And that's pretty much been the extent of my nerd week.
You mentioned Gold Belly.
Gold Belly, yeah.
Gold Belly. And I ordered something from there a while ago, and I have to show you a picture of it because don't say typical, but
Where's that chicken
No
from?
comment.
so it's not fried chicken. It's actually ice cream.
Is it really?
It is ice cream, and that the breading, so to speak, is like waffle cone.
No shit.
It's good as fuck.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so good. So
Where's that at?
I got it offline, and they sent it. It was nice. What do you call it, refrigerated box, and it came in. It was amazing.
So Matt B.
Did you
sent us-
think you didn't think it?
No, I
you
knew it was.
ice cream.
Yeah, I knew it was ice cream, but it was like just buying it was like
That's awesome. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
So Matt B sent us pizza once, and that's how he used
Yeah,
that service.
yeah, which
So
was the
there's a
Detroit,
lot of-
the Detroit style,
Detroit-
right? Yeah, it was
yeah,
great.
I mean, it's like $100 for that, but it was good.
Oh, I'll give you one.
There you go. And some of that stuff, like I've looked at, like Jimmy, you can ship Jimmy's seafood all over the country.
Yeah.
It's oh my gosh, it's expensive. It's expensive to start with, and then
Yeah.
you're shipping it with under
Yeah,
thermal conditions or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then moving on to notes, the first note is this last Daredevil promo before the show starts.
I'm excited.
It looks fucking good, man.
I'm
ready
excited.
for it.
It looks fucking good.
Are they dropping them? Are they dropping 3 at first, like they have been, or are they
That
doing
I don't
individuals?
know. That I don't know. I'm down for individuals.
Is
Yeah.
anybody else weirded out that it's on Disney Plus?
Because it's so
What's also
graphic,
brutal.
emotional.
Yeah.
Listen,
like-
it's also on Hulu. If that eases your mind.
No, it's
'cause
just-
they're kind of the same now.
It's just like,
Well, I mean, Daredevil and Wolverine's on there for Christ's sake.
yeah.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, like it's just
Deadpool.
for some reason it bothers
say?
like the
I know
inner
what you
child
mean.
inside
It
of me. Like,
almost feels like that the grittiness of it doesn't belong on Disney Plus.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like that platform's changing.
Yeah, they have to. They
Yeah.
have to recognize that their audience isn't
That
children.
Fox buyout and is what did it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, because they had to put all that stuff somewhere.
I
Yeah.
almost feel like they should have like a second thing where it's like Disney adult.
Disney X.
Oh, you
Yeah.
mean like Hulu? Like Hulu. My thought when this all happened is they'd put stuff like this Daredevil on Hulu, but now they seem to have kind of merged those two apps. I don't know if y'all been on them lately, but it's like all the Star Wars shows are on Hulu,
Yeah.
and then you'll see like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on the
Disney Plus, like,
Yeah, it's weird.
a strange world we live in.
It is. I do feel like it's losing something about its identity in the process, but I'm down for this fucking Daredevil show. Like I hope I'm not setting my expectations up too high.
You are.
How many
Yeah.
episodes is it?
I'm gonna
don't-
guess 8, but it may be
That's
10.
Yeah, that's 6 to 8.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, because there's always that filler episode.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
at least one.
Yeah, Karen's backstory or something.
And then the other one that I have on here is about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations for this year.
It's Outcast.
We usually cover it. Yes, they were. So 14 nominations. Let's see. Fucking ads are fucking my shit up. All right, Bad Company. I Can't Deny, as it were. The Black Crowes, Mariah Carey, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker.
Chubby Checker's not in the Hall of Fame.
That's wild.
Just then you know. Joe Cocker, Billy Idol, Cyndi Lauper, Joy Division, Manya, Oasis, Outkast, Fish, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes.
So how many get put in?
That I don't know.
So there was, what was that, Joy Division?
So
who
last
was that?
year, Mary J. Blige, Cher, Foreigner, A Tribe Called Quest, Kool and the Gang, Ozzy Osbourne, Dave Matthews Band, and Peter Frampton were included. So last year it was 8.
It's almost like a lock.
Yeah, 8. I feel like get Outkast in there, get Mariah Carey in there.
Do we really, does it
Black
need to be
Crowes,
called
just
the
for the
Rock
name.
and Roll Hall
Fish.
of Fame anymore? Though, I mean, it needs to be renamed to something
So
else.
what? The Music Hall of Fame?
No, because
or
it's all rock and roll.
Well, sure.
You know, like but let's see, Cyndi Lauper, I'm good with that too.
Not really.
She had a whole song about masturbation.
She did. Fine, give it to her. Whatever.
She was also in WrestleMania.
Was she?
And had
Was.
Captain Lou Albano and her girls.
Did she
Wanna
bop?
have fun?
Did she bop anybody?
No, she was.
Did you bop anybody? Did we bop anybody?
Everybody got bopped. I don't know what's happening.
She bop, you bop, and we bop. I bop, they bop, and you bop. Steve, that's the song about masturbation. It's like a.
Oh, sorry.
She's so unusual.
Okay. Not. Don't know the deep cuts, Bobby. Sorry.
It sounds like a hit record.
I could recognize her.
Time After Time.
I know that one.
All right, that was on there. And then what was the other one? Oh, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Same record. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Moving on to questions.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
That was extra long today.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
so to speak. So Brink writes in. We rarely get a write in
What's
for
up,
Brink.
Brink?
He says, "What's up, Ragers? Last week's listener question about high school teachers got me thinking back. Freshman year, I had an algebra teacher, Miss Grabler. Jesus Christ. She was probably in her early to mid 20s. Okay. Husky voice. Short red hair. Freckles.
It's getting worse.
And rocking some sweet sundresses when the weather got warm. Okay, I'm back in the game. We're back in the game. I attended an all-boys high school, and I, along with many of my classmates, purposely spent a lot of time in her after-school classroom tutor sessions learning how to solve for X. Talk about plotting the rise of your Y-axis, am I right? I'd love to plug her quadratic equation, you little freak.
Remembered a lot. Retain more than 5%.
Yeah, right, yeah.
He said, the memories. I'm going to have some sweet dreams tonight. Did any of you have any smoking hot teacher during your school days?
Yes.
Oh,
I had two.
Miss Blankenship, no. Miss Huddleston, no. Miss Huddleston was like 70. I'm trying to run through my. So the only one she was a milfy woman named Miss Johnson who were rumored
she was.
to be sleeping with one of my classmates. I did have a substitute one time who was an attractive young lady, and it was an extremely rowdy class I was in. She was trying to calm us down by telling her story, and she at one point said, "If you guys need to pay attention and graduate, blah blah blah." I didn't do all that, and my life was a mess. And then she said, "I was a prostitute." And I'll never forget this. Marcus Moore stands up.
How much?
And opens his wallet and hands her $1.
No shit.
And he got sent to the office. And I got sent to the office. Oh, goodness gracious. And then I got sent to the office later because I asked somebody for a pencil and she said no talking. I'm like, cool. So I went and hung out with the assistant principal the rest of the class. So that was, I never saw her again after that day. So I'm assuming word got around pretty quick.
So I had one.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that we know slept with her.
Really?
Yeah. Recently got promoted to your level.
Really?
While you were in school?
Allegedly right after graduation.
Nice.
TikTok? I know who you're talking
Yes,
about.
sir.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a gang sign? Are you affiliated?
That
she
funky
was,
chopper sound. I kind of like that rhythm a little bit, don't you?
She was rather popular at the all-guy Catholic high school.
No kidding. So I had two. I had Miss Cassell. She was thicker than a snigger, to quote my friend Pinkerton here. And like classy, pretty, just damn, that's a woman right there, but never got down with any bullshit, And then we had one in high school. Her name was Miss Honey. And this was my favorite.
Come on now.
This was she was pretty. She wasn't overly sexy, but she was pretty and put together. And she started dating another teacher at my high school named Mr. Sageman. And
he was getting all up in that, honey.
So there was a guy in my class who I used to call him, he was like the Black Jack Nicholson. The way he talked like this, everything he taught. This dude Scrappy, we called him, and somebody was talking about they were dating, right? And he was like, "What are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about?" And he was like, "Sage Man wants to taste the honey." and Sage Man lost his mind. He was like, "What? Don't you ever be disrespectful that way?" It was science, it was chemistry. Like the mole equation, mole represents an
MOL mole.
Yes. Yeah. So to get extra credit points, you could like make a stuffed mole like that you could do, and it was like significant extra credit points. So everybody did it, and he had this like cabinet full of these stuffed moles, and he was like, "I don't give a rat's ass what you've heard." And the dude Scrappy he just pointed over his shoulder where the moles were. He's like, "Rat's ass."
We had mole day.
I don't even know what that means. I'm not familiar with mole.
Yeah, it's a number. It's like 34 times pi. It's like 34 times mole.
It's not money over something.
Yeah, it's like no.
It
Money
has something
over.
to do with like atomic weights and
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of the shit I do every day. I got you.
so like
When's the last time you had to fucking measure an atomic weight or
That's
something?
how it goes, ain't it?
What's the atomic weight of these fucking crushes, Bobby?
I'll let you know.
They're
here in a
heavy as
second.
hell.
So we had a Stromboli day, and once a
I like
year,
the sound of it.
it was on mole day, so each Stromboli weighed a mole. I don't know what that fucking means, but
Yeah.
we all eat
Sounded
Strombolis
good at
that
the
day.
time.
It was,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
And that was the only one. Any hot teachers for you?
I had a couple.
Okay.
I think second grade, Miss Butler. I just remember her being like, she was tall,
Little hootie patootie.
brown skin, like
Oh,
she was shaped well. And I knew that in second grade. And then in high school, we had a math teacher named Miss Crawford, who I'm actually on social media friends with. Funny thing about her, she was young when she was our teacher. She might have been like 25, 24, something like that. So she was a young teacher. And she was a high school teacher, which was wild. She was attractive. And it turns out she's the same age as my soon-to-be ex-wife. I was like, man, I could have had her this whole time. But, you know.
You know, I just looking back at like my teachers as a whole, and like it was a bunch of old people. Like I didn't have, young. There was some sort of like
The kids
birth-
now got it great.
Maybe there was a birth
they're
gap.
crazy. The
Yeah.
teachers out there now,
And they wear whatever they want to
Yes,
school.
they wear what they want. It's amazing.
it's open season.
They kind of had to loosen up that dress code to make people want to come back to work.
Great googly moogly, that thing is juicy.
Love it. PTA meetings all day. I come for the
Yeah.
conferences with the kids. Like, tell me everything.
So I was going to say there was something you said made me think about another topic, but I can't. Oh, well, fuck it. If I remember it, I'll come back to it. So next one is from Kevin Creative, but not with an 8 in the middle, spelled out.
Missed opportunity.
I know. Hey, fellas. Hope everything is great with you and your families. I wanted to ask if you noticed any changes to your lives since the bridge collapse from last March. Just curious about how that event impacted everything over there. I've been a fan of yours for years, so I wanted to do something special. I painted a Porsche 928 Rebel model kit with a dead-end paint scheme. Unfortunately, I royally fumbled it at the final assembly, and now it is no longer display worthy. That being said, I wanted to send pics of the best angles. Hope you enjoy it. Maybe I'll try again one day. If you have any, or if you had to apply for, okay, so that's the second question. So yeah, he painted like a 928, like dead end.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was,
Not bad.
cool.
Yeah.
that's cool.
And I'll tell you, man, I've had many projects that I've spent tons of time on, and I don't know what's wrong with this in your eyes, but I would guess that probably 98% of the world would never notice it.
So I don't know if it's it, but I'm guessing that Decepticon symbol is off center.
Yeah, well,
That's all I got, though. That's all I got. The paint job looks fantastic.
looks great, man. It looks great. There's
gonna say it.
nothing worse than getting to the end of a project and yeah.
Can't stick the landing.
So
Kind of like that Delta flight.
Hey, I fly Delta, man. I fly on those, a lot of the times when I fly, it's on those little CRJ planes, 60 seaters. Yeah, fun stuff.
So I'm like, I had just moved my shop from
His questions.
Yeah.
from
Two questions he's
that
got.
side of the bridge to this side of the bridge. So luckily I wasn't impacted, but
yeah.
I can only imagine what the fucking tunnel is like.
Oh, jeez, I don't know.
And we have we just got a little, or was it you telling me about a bit of information that's best suited for a kitchen table episode about that some people are acting like the bridge is just still in service. Some people are just acting like the bridge is just still there.
I don't think that was me.
So apparently, like, there's a lot of different services that, like delivery people Domino's, what have you, police, the fire department, Uber, taxi services, people
They're
that
going that way and they're like, oh, what happened to the bridge?
yeah, so people are being pulled from their supervisory elements by being as the crow flies closest. But the bridge is not there, so they're actually having to drive all the way around, and they're not being replaced with other taxis or Domino's pizza places that are closer.
Oh wow!
So you know people are getting cold pizzas left and right.
That's brutal.
That's
brutal.
That's what is that? That's like a 55-minute
Loop.
Yeah. So imagine like if somebody breaks into your house in the middle of the night and you're calling for the police, and they're like, "Yeah, we got one right around the corner." But he's across the other side of the water.
He's like, I'll go stop, get some coffee.
there when I get there.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a piss.
I will say I don't go to Baltimore ever anymore. So living in 40 minutes west of Baltimore, the only inconvenience I'll probably see is when I drive to New Jersey twice a year, maybe more traffic in the tunnel.
Yeah.
The other thing that came out of it was the amount of businesses that used it as an opportunity to price gouge, which is fucking annoying as shit.
Really?
Yeah, like plastic got more expensive, and they're like, oh yeah, like we have to, we can't get it into the port of Baltimore, so we have to truck it in from these other
But that's
places.
over now.
Well, so then I go, well, don't you have like multiple warehouses where this is like, because they used to send me where it was coming from. It never was coming from the port of Baltimore. It was always coming from some other thing. So I'm like, oh, so you're just using this as an opportunity to put 10%, I'm a fucking idiot, tax on. So now I'm having to call other places and get raw materials in because I'm like, I can't.
I've got a place I use here in Maryland that delivers overnight, so I'll talk about it if it's not the same one you're using. Sounds like a cheap tool store, but that's not it.
By and large, for me, I mean, it hasn't really impacted me. I live, like you said, 40 minutes west of the city, and where that bridge takes you, I don't do a whole lot of business out there anyway. Yeah. So, like, it hasn't really impacted me a whole lot. But I think, obviously the people that use it, traffic's a motherfucker. And
the belt ain't got no buckle.
Yeah. If you had to apply for new jobs tomorrow, what ideas would come to mind?
Post office.
Really?
I don't know why. It's always been on my mind.
It's like that was quick.
So
That's a government job.
Is this I hate my job, I'm going to look for a new career, or I'm fired and have to feed my family situation?
Let's say look for a new career.
I mean, honestly,
feed your family. You go to McDonald's. Do what you gotta do.
Sure. You'd think people do that.
You would think.
In the industry I work in, I could probably have a job that same day. There's a lot of. Honestly, if you've worked in the automotive aftermarket or the heavy duty aftermarket where I work, you've made so many contacts. You've got the dealers. You've got the other reps. You got other rep companies. I would probably look for another rep job. That's essentially what I do. Is I'm a factory rep. Because I enjoy doing the work, and it's not a super high pressure thing all the time. It is from time to time, but nobody's standing on your neck, right?
Right.
Because you're kind of the middleman. You're not in control of the end of it.
Right.
So I don't know. Or something in the wrestling business. I mean, there are careers out there, and I do have some contacts that probably at least give me an interview, but that would be the two things. And the third thing is figure out how to just weaponize what I have the ability to do at home. But then I have to do that, right? I have to do the side hustle becomes the hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would.
I mean, I can make live, laugh, love signs, and or maybe I make hate cry, fuck or sign. I don't know.
It's an interesting one.
What was it? It was die, cry, hate.
Yeah.
Die, cry, hate.
I like fuck better.
Me
That too.
But hating's pretty fun sometimes too.
I mean, like the easy thing would be for me just to continue what I'm doing, but working for myself.
Yeah.
Right. So just finally take that leap and say,
Buy your own shit.
yeah.
Yep. That's fair.
I would say post office or airport. I just thought about it. The airport would probably be.
That's because that's good.
I think
You know what?
you know what I honestly would like. There's a lot of things I think I want to do for about 2 weeks. Just like I think it would be interesting to work as a baggage handler at the airport, just because I love knowing how things work.
Almost like dirty jobs.
Exactly. Yeah. I also I have a better answer. I would get into the mattress industry just to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yo, I don't know how they're staying in
There was a
business.
district manager position for a mattress firm, and I'm like, is it worth burning 2 weeks vacation to take this job just and document what the fuck's going on?
I was going to make a joke about firm, but I couldn't come up with one.
Oh, okay, it's fine.
I have I would look like perfect world, look into something that was like radio. Like I think I had the voice for it and the presence for it. I don't know if the job opportunity exists. That would be one.
You also, I don't know if you know this, but like local radio people don't make shit.
Yeah, there you go.
It's trash.
And then secondly would be like something in media with editing. Like I think I'm nice with editing. And I've gotten like I've taught myself it and I've gotten good at it.
And you're pretty fast at it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty fast. So that's probably where I would go. Or pornography.
I mean, OnlyFans is always out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Mine hasn't taken off though. It's weird.
Try taking off your socks.
Yeah. I'll tell you. So you know, but
I think the socks are holding you back.
You laugh.
Oh, I'm not laughing.
My wife, like, she's big on making sure my socks are off. I don't know why. It's like her thing.
Before she takes the pictures?
I got pretty feet.
I got big feet.
So
We should do a collab. I'll bring the peanut butter, you bring the jelly. We'll make $100 real quick.
Star T Speed writes in and says we should do a collab. Hello, lovely boys. Hope you're well. Another birthday's been and gone. So we had a few friends over, drinks,
Happy
takeout,
birthday.
music, and good times. Yeah, happy birthday.
It's a 1 in 352 chance that it's your birthday.
Given its near mythical status, I decided to find the recipe and make Orange Crush. Well, we're having tonight. My tipple for the evening. And now it's on my list of danger drinks for being both far too easy to drink and guaranteed to get you hammered. What are your danger drinks and why? And what are your go-to safety drinks when you need to back off and pace or just chill? Peace and love. So let me get mine out of the way. My safety drink is water. Like when I know I'm getting fucked up, I'm like, all right, hold up. Let's
fair.
Every all hands on deck. We got to get ourselves together. Let's get some water in us.
Yeah, okay, but I don't think that can't be water.
So I never back down. Alcohol wise. That's my problem. Is like if I notice that we're headed towards critical mass, all hands on deck, and we're getting water in us. But I'm still drinking. But I'm gonna dilute the fuck out of it. Danger drinks is the Crush for me. The Crushes are fucking. I love them, and they are very dangerous for me. Anybody else?
Yeah, my safety drink is not drinking.
Oh,
Yeah, because you're a one's too many, 30 is not enough kind of guy.
Exactly. So if I start, I won't go to a bar at 8 o'clock at night because I can't get enough in me to be satisfied before they close. So I'd rather just not go.
You remind me, my buddy Brutus.
I would just piss the bed, dude. I would just at some point I can either piss the bed and sleep or be up all night pissing.
So like
I gotta piss right now.
I mean like a normal
Like how
Monday,
many beers do you drink when you go to the bar?
on a Monday night for trivia where
Sure.
I'm working the next day.
Yeah,
16.
holy shit.
bro.
And it's like
but what type of beers are we talking?
Coronas.
Don't matter.
Okay,
It's volume.
Yeah, 4.5%, 5%.
Yeah. A decent beer.
But so like it used to be like it doesn't matter the percentage of the drink. I drink the same speed. So if it's
Same.
rum and coke,
I'm the same.
if it's
I'm the same.
it's just
I drink one drink a half hour. I plot myself.
Yeah.
Like while we're doing all this shit, the way I'm filling my glass, I'm also looking at this shit and I'm being like, nope, you're not ready yet. You need another 10 minutes before you have another.
so if I go out and have like IPAs and they're 10%, it's the same pace.
Yep.
And
Same.
it's when
Wow.
when for me when I go like, oh, I'm there.
Yep.
Then I'm good.
So
And then it's about maintenance.
Yeah.
That's where it gets
it's
tricky.
either that or it's going off the cliff.
That's where it gets tricky.
But that's why I don't. That's why I Uber.
That's fair.
Yeah, you don't play. I'll give you that. Like I don't play either. Like I don't fuck around with my keys when it comes to like if I have a sip, I'm out.
I mean, thank God for Uber and all those services because I think I at the minimum hope it cuts down some bad decisions.
Ubering from here to Delaware is still cheaper than a DWI.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
Well, or the possibility of something catastrophic.
Exactly.
That you don't want to have to look at yourself in the mirror the next day for.
Or catastrophic to my wallet. Both.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's like, and I don't have a problem not drinking. Like I've in the last 8 years or so, I've just gotten to the point where it's like, oh, it's not a drinking time.
Yeah,
it's fine.
That makes sense.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But when it's on, it's fucking on.
Yeah. Yeah. I respect it because like you've come for like Halloween parties and like if you drink, you're staying here.
Yep.
And if you don't drink, you're going home.
Yep.
You know, like I've noticed it. Evan.
I would say my danger drinks are specifically Long Island's or grenades, like from New Orleans. Safety drinks, water, of course, but usually it'll be like ginger ale or something like that. Yeah, water or ginger ale. Typically my safety drinks.
Yeah.
I don't drink a ton anymore, but I when I do, normally order a Jameson and ginger ale. And then after 2 or 3, I just order ginger ale. And nobody seems, oh, you're not drinking anymore? It's a lot of work functions where I end up drinking. I'm right. Like,
the ginger ale is like a lifesaver. I order ginger ale most of the time when I go to the bar.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just about the atmosphere. You just want to drink something. But I'm not in the mood to drink alcohol. So.
Right.
And I've definitely gone out and said like, hey, can you make it look like a drink?
Yeah.
But just ginger ale. So that way you don't have to go
put
through
a
the
cherry
whole,
in it or something.
Oh, you're not drinking it.
Give me a lime. Ginger ale with a lime twist.
You can have one.
Sells it most of the time.
You don't know the fucking monster.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm the same way.
Look, if it just also depends on the vibe. If everybody's sitting around drinking beer, I'll drink a beer. I'm not going to drink 5, much less 16. But it seems like I end up getting pretty toasted over here a couple times a year.
Yeah, which I do like to see.
Yeah.
My buddy Brutus, God rest his soul, he used to have he would buy a 30-pack. Right, that was like his go-to. He'd buy a 30-pack. And he would come into the function with the 30-pack. And I'd be like, hey, man, let me get a beer. And he'd be like, look, I want to give you a beer. And I'm your friend. And I love you. But if I give you this beer, I'm not going to get where I need to be. And it's not going to do anything for you. So we both lose if you have one of my beers. Wow. And I respected it.
Yeah.
And it was fucked up because that dude came to my house. He fucking raided my pantry and everything. You know what I mean? Like,
You're like, hey, come on, man.
Yeah. But
pay it back, bro.
But he made good sense.
I'll add on to your water comment that if I know I am going out and I'm going to be drinking, I drink a bottle of water before I leave and then I have to pee as soon as I get there. And then I drink a bottle of water before I go to bed. And I also, if I'm prepared, I have those liquid IV packs with the... Yeah, and that's
keep water with me in my car all the time.
They say that shit does the trick.
It really works.
Yeah.
I drink one before and then one after or 2 hours. Then normally in the morning, after I've been up to piss 32 times and not slept at all, I'll drink another one and then pee all day again.
Paul C. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
I've been looking at your hoodie. Is that a reference to the Jay-Z Kanye song?
So no, but I wore it for you.
Okay.
I wore it for you.
Look,
I knew you were coming out with my
I kept looking at it.
My black brand hoodie that says black 3 times on the sleeve where you'd be sitting.
It says Black Paris, and I thought it was a reference to the song.
And I was hoping that you would notice it, and you noticed it.
I noticed it when upstairs.
It got close. It got close. But
I've been eyeing up all night. I
was hoping. Paul C writes in and says, "Happy New Year's, guys, but not Bobby. When you tell someone I got to take a quick shit, how long are you?" I never tell anybody that. How long are you taking? What is quick to you in this scenario? I understand that not everybody is comfortable telling everybody that they're going to go take a shit. That's me. I don't talk about that shit. For the purposes of this question, this is with someone that you are comfortable enough to tell that you are about to drop a deuce. So here's a fun fact about me. I don't tell anybody that shit.
Likewise.
I don't. Like, it's a private thing for me. Like, there are times where my wife knows.
This man's got his fucking balls out on the internet.
It's true. It's true. It is true. It is true. I don't know why. So my wife,
my wife.
So I'll tell her, like, and we've been together since we were 15. I'll be like, and she knows, right? The bathroom on the main floor, I treat it like the bathroom at work. Whereas like, that's the pissing bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a shitting bathroom because nobody wants to fucking cook while they got to smell your shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pissing bathroom. So like, if we're in like the living room and we're having a cup of coffee in the morning and I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom and I go downstairs into the basement, she knows I got to go take a shit. But I would never say I gotta go take a shit. You know what I'm saying?
We're very similar. That's why I laugh about that. We're very similar in that respect. Because I was like, I thought it was just me. I thought it was being.
No,
I was about to say being anal, but
It's actually the opposite of that.
It's right. But I'm the same way. People don't need to know when I'm taking a shit.
Yeah.
I'm a mystery shitter.
Me too.
And so it's like
Phantom
I could be in
shitter.
there, wash my face. I could be in there, blowing it up. You won't know, and I won't let you know.
Nope.
And
I'm the same way. I don't even.
You gonna know I took a shit.
I don't even like farting in front of people. Like where I work, people will just like rip
Funny,
farts and shit. Like I don't
do
play
it.
that shit. Like that shit to me is like a private thing that like.
so any bathroom activity is private.
Fucker.
I know.
Farting is the
weirdo,
same
man.
way with me. And what happened is funny. It was last night before. So my girl, we woke up in the middle of the night and we were just talking, and she, she said something funny, and she was like, "It's funny to me how you fart in your sleep a lot." I said, and I couldn't help but laugh. And she's like, "No, it's fine. It's funny." She's like, "At least it doesn't stink." But it's the cutest thing because you fart yourself awake every time.
Oh my goodness.
I was
right,
like
I
the fucking dog.
I'm gonna
She's like,
tell.
yes.
I'm gonna tell the most embarrassing fart story of my life that I've never told another living soul, and I probably shouldn't mention on this podcast. So my wife and I were having a threesome.
Flex.
Yeah,
Right?
I can't tell you the year, but we were in this house.
What was the guy's name?
Not the Devil's Threesome.
Not the Devil's Three. Okay.
There's no Eiffel
We don't
Tower.
we don't let them spend the night.
No Eiffel Tower.
So anyway,
Finger cuffs.
it's very rare. It's very rare that it happens in general. But on top of that, we're talking super rare if they spend the night. Right? Usually it's like all right, and farewell. Drive safely.
Have a good one.
Right. So this particular night, everybody spent the night. And I was asleep. And I woke up because my stomach was like it just wasn't feeling right. And I was like, God damn, I gotta rip this fart. And like, cause I will fart from my wife sometimes, like especially at night, cause I can play it off like I'm still sleeping. So I ripped this fucking gnarly ass fart. Dude. I'll talk about like it was like Chewbacca was under the sheets,
A real flapper.
And as soon as I did it, I was like, oh fuck, this bitch is still in the bed.
He's still here.
And I just pretended like I was asleep the whole time. I just laid there motionless for like another hour before I like stirred, because I like didn't want to had to face it.
So I have IBS.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Congrats.
I actually got it in the military.
How so?
So I had dysentery for like a year.
No shit.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Oregon Trail
lots of
type
shit.
shit.
Like really bad.
Wow.
Really?
I didn't know
Turns
that's
out
an old
that
school disease.
you're supposed to be.
Because of polio.
I didn't know people were still doing that.
Old school disease.
We weren't in the United States,
Oh,
so we were overseas.
So it's a
and,
third world disease.
he says very vaguely overseas.
You got an old school disease.
and we had contracted local nationals to like work our chow hall, and they were supposed to be using bottled water, but they were stealing the bottled water and using like non-potable
hose water.
So like every time you leave the chow hall, you're like, I'm about to shit my pants and have to like run. And people didn't make it.
Jesus.
So like I've struggled with it since.
Wow.
But I like to joke that I haven't had a solid bowel movement since W was in office.
Do you think you think that the 16 beers might have anything to do with the way you're shitting?
No, because I mean I only.
Well, it's funny because
If I drink a bunch of beer, I'm just shitting my brains out.
because you'll talk about it sometimes. You'll be like, I haven't had a solid bowel movement since X, and I'll always be like, in my head, I'm like, it's probably the nerves of gambling mixed with the alcohol.
No. It's just I mean, yeah, I mean like probably the alcohol doesn't help,
No,
but it's not like I drink, more than once a week, and it's more likely like 3 times a month. So it's not like I'm still experiencing that problem
Right.
13 days later.
Okay, so you only consume like that once a week. I misunderstood. I thought this was you said Monday I thought Monday was an example of the week.
No, so that's the night that I most regularly go out.
Okay.
Because of trivia.
Gotcha. The trivia.
But most of the time I don't go out on a Saturday night a
Sure.
lot, so it's like.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Does that cover, Chris? Did you?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't want anybody bothering me because these motherfuckers will knock on the door. I close, hey, I'm going to go take a shit, and I'll close 3 doors in between me and where I'm sitting in the toilet. Like, don't fucking bother me.
Really?
Yeah, just leave me alone. I will say the bidet has sped up the process quite a bit.
So say there's potatoes involved?
Does anyone else do that thing where you're in the bathroom? Let's say a public bathroom at work or something like that, and you have to shit.
Oh God!
Does anybody do the thing where you turn the sink on?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
If I think we're gonna be making a scene,
Right.
no, I'll turn my fucking phone on, the
Yes.
music on loud.
I don't need
the
anybody.
I will do everything in my power to avoid shitting in public. That's an airport, and damn people. I don't know what these folks are eating in airport bathrooms.
That's disgusting.
Oh my gosh!
Especially with all the sex that's happening in them.
Right? And all the trafficking, apparently. Every time I go in a bathroom, it's like, are you being trafficked? Oh, am I? My company, I didn't pay for my own flight.
Mainly just the same.
Am I getting trafficked by my company? So, but yeah, me and my wife fart in front of each other. And, she has a bad habit of just peeing with the door open. And I'll like walk in and she's like, I'm not peeing. I'm like, then why don't you shut the fucking door? I'll tell you a funny story. The first time,
my wife's always got it's her stomach upset. Like if she like farts, it happens like a leap year. Like she'll be like, and I'll look over and she'll be like, my tummy. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that driver's seat's tore up. She's letting it go. She just. So I'll tell you a funny story. Me and my wife, we hadn't been dating terribly long. Not to the shitting and farting in front of each other.
Yeah.
At the time, me and a friend of mine, we had his mom's house. She moved out. We were splitting it. So in that house, there was like a hall bathroom, and then there was a master bath, but it was almost just like a hall bath with a shower. Mm-hmm. And we went out to eat at a Ruby Tuesday, and that. Well, that was the night we both knew each other, took shits because that was awful. It cleaned us out. Ruby
Outback
Tuesday.
used to clean my wife and I out like they had like
Pizza Hut.
We got to get home now.
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut
will fuck me up.
That grease, man.
The only thing that fucks me up is the sausage at Burger King, and I don't know why. I can't eat I can have anything else.
Dunkin' Donuts has food.
Really?
Dunkin' Donuts food and I haven't had Dunkin' in a few years because of their food.
Really?
Yeah, it fucks me up. Makes me shit all the time.
Fair enough.
Last one is from Todd R, of course.
No.
What up, NRR crew? Little bit of a long one today. Bobby, something you said around the time when you informed your sister you were not attending her wedding. You said something along the lines of, you hope this doesn't lose the little taste of family you had gotten, meaning the sister and niece time, not your mom, obviously. This has been fucking with me ever since. My family has always been broken, but on Saturdays, my mom, aunt, and cousins would hang with my grandpa for the entire day. This was my favorite part of the week, mostly because we lived with my awful grandmother. I hate hearing those two words together. I'm just adding that in. And we got to get away from her a little bit, and my grandpa was awesome. We'd often start the morning with some school sporting event for my cousins or myself, then breakfast. After that, it was shopping, where Grandpa would almost assuredly buy me a toy. After that, maybe something fun like the movies or arcade, and just chill until dinner. That would be every Saturday until I was 13. I loved it. Sounds great. That all ended the day when an officer showed up at our house to give the news my grandfather had passed. A blood clot dislodged while he was driving and probably died instantly. He was coming to a stop sign at a T3-way intersection and just kept going, crashing through a barn. Damn. I got to look at that hole for another 6 years before it was fixed. So that was cool too. Yeah, that sucks. The Saturday ritual ended right there, and that was the last time I think I tasted family, even though I've come to realize a lot of it was fake on my aunt's part. It was more scheduled family for them. So what does this taste of family mean to you, and how do you know when you have it? Bye. So I don't know. Like, I don't really know what. I mean, so I have my nuclear family, right? And my nuclear family is pretty solid.
Must be nice.
Where's the flex button? I too have one of those to feel guilty about now. The guilt. The guilt.
Oh, it's just more white guilt. But what I've never really known is like extended family, right? Like my wife, like somebody's always turning an age and there's always an event and this one's getting baptized and that one's getting graduating and this one's having, and I don't know anything about that shit. Like, so like with this little introduction, I mean, I could tell you when I realized it was something, I have two brothers, and I mean, it's bigger than this, but just to keep it simple, I have two brothers and a sister. My oldest younger brother has 4 kids. I've seen 2 of them, and none of them have ever spoken to me because I saw them when they were too young to speak. My youngest brother has 2 and a possible kids, with I think another one on the way, and similar circumstances. My sister has 4 kids, and her daughter, she has 3 boys and a girl, and her daughter is the one that stays with us. And we're doing shit like I'm trying to repair shit. She actually is super interested in family. She like knows her family's fucked up, so like wants relationships with everyone and wants to kind of understand the dynamics and all that shit. So like she like makes a conscious effort to like reach out and be a part of it and blah 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 blah. So I'm taking her around. We took her out for seafood, like just shit she's not used to. You know what I mean? Like took her to DC, took her to Baltimore, took her to fucking Annapolis, took her fucking everywhere, So we got back to the house, and I was like, look, we're having dinner tonight. I just need everybody to pitch in, get the kitchen cleaned up, we're going to make dinner and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, cool. So I'm going downstairs, and she was like, hey, Uncle Bobby. And it fucking stopped me, like dead in my tracks. So my wife has a brother with 2 kids. They have spoken to me. They'll say hello or whatever, but they don't call me by any title. And then her sister has no kids. So like it's the first time I've ever really been called uncle. And it caught me off guard, like somebody called me like outside of my name almost. You know what I mean? Like hey dumbass. Like, and I was like, what? I was like, what? I had to like turn around like, oh yeah. Yeah.
That's me. Yes.
That's me. Yeah. Yes, you can also have a glass of water if you'd like. Yes, because I'm an uncle and I have that power.
Would you prefer Unc?
No.
It's the youngest call.
Yeah, I know. But that was where I was like, oh shit, like, it's bigger than me. And then the next summer, or it might even been the same summer later that year, my sister, we had her out just by herself, and I hadn't seen her in years, and then she got to hang out, and then I was like, oh shit, like I'm building something here again, like I'm reconnecting these bonds. And then when that shit happened with my mother and her fucking wedding, I was just like, my mother's gonna fucking you brought up Miley Cyrus earlier, to fucking just wrecking ball the whole fucking thing again, which I think she took a swipe at it, but I think we're gonna have my niece back out, so like I think it's gonna be cool,
Nice.
But, like, yeah. So like, and I don't have any, I have a father, my grandmother's dead. I have a father. My father's in South Carolina. I'll never hear from him again if I don't call him. If I call him, he'll pick up. I call him right now. He's probably in bed, but if it was a couple hours earlier, he'd pick up. And then my brother's locked up and my sister. That's all I got,
Yeah. I mean, I cut my mother off.
Yeah.
And when I did that, like I lost her mother and everybody else on that side of the family. So
yeah, and it fucking sucks, And like, I'm grateful that I have like my unit, but like, you don't know how that shit's gonna go, man. Like, like, and I want them to do whatever they want to do, but they can fuck off. Like this one goes to art school in Manhattan, and this one goes to Seattle, and that one goes to North Carolina, open up a bakery or whatever. Like, you never know, and then they're gone. you know, and the fucking clock's ticking,
I know.
you know? So like, I don't know. Family is like a very abstract concept to me. And then I think with the Adam shit, that shit fucking helped, like it made me redefine how I look at family, because I was like, no, my friends are my family. And then I was like, oh no, they're not. They're just fucking friends. And I had to learn that the hard way. But then when you start to like reconnect with family, you know, like it started putting me down a track of like, fuck man, this is worth pursuing. But, you know, the idea of when you start like building little bridges, you know, and then you feel like that bridge is going to be lost, and it's like, and that's the only chance you got to get to that island again. It's like unnerving, I guess. So like, I don't know. I think that like it's something you feel in your gut, man. Like something about her saying Uncle Bobby, like it fucked me up. It spun me like a top. Like I was headed down to the basement to do reviews or some useless bullshit, and like I was like, what the fuck did you just say? You know? And I was like, yeah, that's who I am. Like, and it was just weird to hear, you know? So I think it's just something you feel. Anybody else have any thoughts on family before we get out of here on a nice high note?
So, I mean, it's interesting perspective for me because of the shit that's gone on with my wife's family over the past.
Oh, right.
Right. So, you know, didn't have anything to do with any of them for 10 years. And then her dad decides to leave, and, you know, here's mom and sister, and we're all hunky dory again, which I hold no animosity towards the situation anyways. It wasn't my fight to have. And
do you feel, being in the role you are with their history, do you feel any role to like any responsibility to be like the cautious, like let's not buy in too much until we really feel this out, because we don't want to get, you know, you don't want to get hurt again.
Right. So, I mean, my wife had been in there twice already. Right? So on her own.
Right.
And I guess tested the waters, so to speak, before she broached the subject of us all going down. So, I don't know. It's just, you know, I haven't talked to either of them since we were there. You know, when her mom's a mess, like she doesn't know how to do anything like taking care of bills and any of that. She's gotten scammed 2 or 3 times since. Nigerian
princes for Black History Month.
Well, yeah, of course. Reparations is what it is.
Is that what it is? You know, I mean, I've got my wife's got a brother too, who was my best friend for years. We used to run the wrestling together. He lives in Atlanta. I'm actually going to see him and his son Walker, my nephew. I'm going down there at the end of March for work, and then I'm going to spend the weekend with him. What was that now?
Is it Texas Ranger?
That's kind of the joke.
Alabama Ranger.
No, he's a Georgia Ranger.
Oh, okay.
Born in Georgia. And you know, I have a brother, but he and I talked to him the other day. Like it took
the one in the band.
Yeah, it took us 4 phone calls to actually have a conversation, and it was on. I just mainly want to ask him about the Super Bowl, and you know, I said, what would you think Metallica would?
I would love to see that.
He said, I think they would do it, but there'd have to be a reason, because sure as hell don't need the money. It was when they don't make any money off of it, but
yeah,
they'd sell some records. But I mean, we're just not real close. We don't have. He doesn't have kids. He works for himself, kind of, sort of, for doing construction stuff, and we just don't have much in common. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no.
We get along fine. We're together, but we don't go out of our way to. You know, I was in Birmingham last year, about a year ago, and he and I had dinner and went back to his house at like 9:00, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna leave and go to the hotel now.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's fine. We're just different people, very different people.
Yeah.
And my mom's one of 10. So I have a fuck ton of cousins, so I've had the big family experience, and I'm good with just having my little circle of people that I'm with.
Yeah. I hear you.
That's a lot of folks to gather up.
Who has the bigger family for your kids? Your side or your wife's side, or your ex-wife's side?
Her side. And so I grew up in a relatively small family. And being older now, I realize that my mom probably walled us off from our cousins and shit, which, you know, whatever. I'm over that.
Right.
But I do have cousins and shit out there. So, but it was just me, my
That's
brother,
weird.
and sister. Yeah. I know, right? A couple of them.
Hey, I guarantee you I have more cousins than you do.
Yeah, I know you do. But mine's are pretty much in
Alabama!
I mean, it's probably 20 cousins on that side.
Damn.
See, I don't know.
It's
how many I
10.
have.
It's 10.
That's crazy.
10 kids. My mom's one of 10. It's
Yeah.
2 or 3
my mom
apiece.
was. I mean, there was like 4 or 5 of them, but yeah, it was small. It was more like my mom, my siblings, and my dad. My dad passed in 2010. I never knew my grandparents on either side, and so coming from a small family. My ex-wife's family was big, big family on both sides, her father and her mother. So I got to know all of them. So that's a part of the divorce process that people don't necessarily think about, because you're not just grieving the loss of that relationship with your wife. You're grieving the loss of the relationship with
Your wife's family.
who I was tight with. And so that's something I was talking about the other day. And it was like, it kind of, fucked me up a little bit, because just being close to people for the past 16 years and your family essentially, but then to have this moment like her and I are splitting and literally nobody's reached out to me at all. And they're like, fuck, these are people who I looked at as family. And, and that's
real.
It's fucked up. I understand if that's your daughter, that's your cousin, that's your niece, whatever. And you take her side, sure. But literally nobody's reached out to me at all. And then
People that you thought were like family to you.
Exactly.
God,
and then I've got, aside from that, I've got 3 stepkids and 2 grandkids.
Right. And
I lose all of them.
Oh, fuck.
I've been in these kids' lives for 16 years. I've raised them.
What's interesting, my stepdad and I still have lunch once a year.
Really?
And my parents, my mom and my stepdad got divorced when I was 15, so 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I think eventually it'll shake out after the process, but I still lose that. And for her to say she said in paperwork, basically, she said, I feel like he's trying to befriend my son to get information on my personal life. And I responded like, befriend your son? Oh, you mean my son too, who I've raised.
Right.
And, so that's a hard part of it, because now I haven't seen my...
You know what the ultimate get back is, though? You hit mom-in-law up a couple years, let it sit. Like, I do miss your broccoli that you used to make.
The problem, I can't stand her mother. I've never liked her mother.
Oh, you hit her dad up and say that the way you used to grill that steak.
I know, and just be there on like a nice
that steak.
Fucking
you were
cookout.
You taught me so much.
Or if, when one of them die, just stand in the back, like far enough back where it's obvious under an umbrella, even if it's not raining. And then just walk to your car. Was that Tyler? I don't know.
And just leave a single rose on the
Yep.
just walk away. Actually, at
In
the
a
funeral, wear a white suit instead of a black one.
like we're fucking Bruce Wayne's parents were.
A rose and a Magnum.
Yeah.
Like a Latin Magnum. Not the ice cream bar. Eat that in the car.
Condoms are expensive.
Yeah.
I would know.
I saw them recently at a store, and I was like, no fucking... Like, people were talking about eggs. I was like, you all dumb?
Yo,
Nobody's complaining about this?
I was in a hotel.
Worthy investment, though.
Yeah.
I was in a hotel in Canada and back from dinner, just grabbing like a drink and a snack. And these motherfuckers, they didn't have a peg. They had a display of fucking condoms. Well, I guess I know what y'all motherfuckers are doing when it's cold outside.
Yeah.
I also saw condoms on clearance in an airport one time.
I don't know if I trust a clearance
Holes in
condom.
them.
I don't know if I'm about. Like,
I don't know if I trust
what's
a clearance
your life?
condom.
You're in the airport buying prophylactics.
Nah, go ahead, give me
Hey,
a
like
full
you said,
price
the
one.
bathroom sex. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it is.
Hey, Kitty, pass me the full price ones.
Is that what those is that what those family booths are always?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you could run a prostitution ring out of a family bathrooms at an outlet mall.
Just shitting and fucking in there.
Fucking.
Maybe a little of column A and a little of column B.
I ain't
Hey,
judging.
hey, girl, you ever heard of a blumpkin?
We don't need a condom for that.
No, but I'm gonna take a shit while you do it.
I could never.
Nope. Felt Bobby's weakness. So Bailey J shows up, but you've got a
Don't
bag.
act like that's my prize.
I ain't heard you talk about old.
You went straight to it.
I ain't heard you talk about old girl in a minute. Thought I'd bring her up. See if that shit shakes anything loose.
That's a different pocket, different bracket. We're talking about like the that's not like my like jump off.
I'm just combining something you love and something you hate and seeing what happens, Bobby. It's how magic gets creative.
That's fair. With that, Evan, the king of Pasaconda, I want to thank you for coming out.
Absolutely. Keep the tradition
It's
alive.
been far too long.
I know.
And to Phil, I want to thank you for your continued 14 notes that I cut down to 2. I'm so sorry. On our notes and on Twitter, and Dante on Facebook. Dante, I want to have you out for, you weren't able to make it tonight, which was a bummer, but I want to have you out for something else about the world ASAP. And Ricky Tiki Timber did a video recently, and then he's like the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was making the world believe he didn't exist, and like that he was gone.
Ricky's been.
I know he's been going through it.
Going through it. I talked to him this past week. Shout out to Ricky.
Shout out to Ricky. And shout out to Joey on assignment. Apparently he was 2 peopled out today. And with that,
Happy Black History Month and Kente Cloth Coochie. Yeah.
Moist lies.
Tasty tank.
tight dick player. I almost said white dick player.
You wanted, see? And that's why we have the month. Tried to colonize. Shit, white dick player. You're a colonizer.